So, good morning, everyone. So, I, Dr. Shweta Sinha, extend a very warm welcome to all the participants to the fourth day of 5-day faculty development program on recent advancements, innovations, future trends in emerging technologies and their impact on higher education. Just a quick recap. In the last 3 days, we had excellent sessions on impact of AI technologies in higher education, AI for healthcare, followed by hands-on session on auto AI for model building and deployment, AI for robotic process automation, and AI for recommendation systems. Yesterday, we had interactive sessions on data science and human-machine interactions. All the sessions were engaging and captivating, and I hope you all are following them assiduously. So today, we are extremely privileged to have amongst us esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Amit Dua from BITS Pilani and Dr. Anuj Kumar Singh from Adani University, Ahmedabad. I welcome you, sirs, and look forward to your deliberation on the sub-theme of the day, the blockchain technology. And also, our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Vikas Madhukar, has joined us for this session. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Welcome to the session, sir. To start with the proceedings of the day, may I have the privilege to introduce Dr. Amit Dua. Dr. Amit Dua is an associate professor in computer science department at the leading university in India and founder and CEO of Yushu Excellence Technologies Private Limited. He is a renowned expert in blockchain technology, AI, and cybersecurity. Dr. Dua is dedicated to developing innovative solutions using zero-knowledge proof and empowering people through blockchain technology. Dr. Dua is the author of 5 books encompassing topics such as blockchain technology, machine learning, and cybersecurity. Sir has been awarded with numerous accolades for his research writing, leadership, and coaching by various esteemed organizations. As an active contributor to the national newspaper, Dr. Dua shares his wealth of knowledge with a wider audience, working towards impacting 1 million lives by December 31st, 2026. At the university, he teaches courses on blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and cybersecurity, inspiring the next generation of innovators. I look forward to your deliberation on different types of stable coins and the risk management. So please.
Thank you so much, Shweta ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Khushbu, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Pro Vice Chancellor, Sir, Vikas Madhukar, sir, and all the participants. Thank you very much. First of all, can every one of you say hello? You can be very articulate in this chat box. So I have a 4.5-year-old daughter, which is very active, and I don't want anyone to be less active in this particular session. I know that the more active you are, the more you will learn and more you will take away from this session. So there are 3 major agendas for this particular session. One, that why do we need stable coins? So to understand why, we need to understand what exactly is money, how it works, what are the loopholes in this, and much more in that particular aspect. The second major objective for this particular talk is what is stablecoin for sure. So we need to understand what exactly is stablecoin, what are the things that have gone in the past on the tokenization aspect. And the third important aspect is that what are the major ways in which we can use stable coins and what we need to be very careful of while using them. In this entire aspect, I need your energy, I need your commitment. There will be so many airdrops in the sense of so many awards, gifts, prizes that you may be receiving. Few of them may be my books, my courses, and much, much more than that. So it is very important that you please commit to be active. Unless you are active, that session will not be very fruitful, neither for you, neither for every one of us. So if you kindly allow me, can I take a yes from you to be most attentive and enthusiastic? If you agree, just please type yes, so that your active participation not only will help you to be more rewarding for you, but also can help you at the same time win certain prizes in this particular session. Okay, now what exactly is money? All of us deal in money. We all want money. Do we? Of course, at least I want money. I don't know about you. A lot of us want abundance, but abundance and money are sometimes correlated, sometimes they are separate. To understand the fact that money, what we all understand here, need to have certain properties. For example, we are using INR, Indian National Rupee. Many of other people are using in other countries dollar. And there are other ways in which money has evolved over a period of time. And what we are using in this particular scenario, and our discussion in the first 20 minutes of this particular talk will revolve around what is money and what are the loopholes in that. By the end of this next 20 minutes, we will be at least in synergy about what is money and what are the problems in the current economic or monetary system. Is it okay for all of you to build upon that? Say yes, no, okay, something. You can all keep on posting your questions as well. If you have some questions, any question with respect to Bitcoin, blockchain, money, whatever stable coins, please feel free to type in here. That will be necessarily helpful. If you have something counter questions as well, if you don't agree with it, don't wait for me to ask you to have some questions. Feel free to type in this respect with it. Okay, let us understand about the evolution and definition of money. So money has been evolving over a period of time. Now, back in the ages, we did not have a formal concept of money. We used to work with credit and debit systems. You gave me something to eat. I say that, yes, I owe you something. And you give something, that person owes something. And this was the thing that revolved around for good amount of time. I'm not sure about barter system, but at least this was existing for good amount of time, is documented properly. When we moved on towards an era, we need some form of currency exchange, which is agreeable by all, which can hold certain value, which can enable the transfer of value, and which can be used by all others as well and can be denominated. So we started with the fact in our generation, let's say 2000 years ago, we started giving money in the form of salt sometimes in the form of some other coins and so on and so forth that was used over a period of generations. And there were certain limitations for every piece of commodity that we are using, whether it is a salt, how much salt can we carry from our shoulders from one place to another. That was a limitation. We used some coins, whether gold, silver, other things, they were highly valuable and they had the problem in which what is correct, what is not correct, counterfeiting was also one of the issues as well. And one single coin held a lot of value. So we also need some currency which could be denominated further as well. Now, there was a concept in which people had a lot of money. They give it to the government, which we call it as kings. And king used to hold it across and they gave it in their money that, yes, I guarantee that Dr. Khushbu is awarded 100 million rupees because he has held 100 million rupees with us as an asset. Now, that particular note can be used across and traded across in that particular territory. And it is fine for us to use it now. Now, that was the first form of the currency which we know of, at least correctly, and we have leveraged that currency in the sense of we had certain things, whether it is wheat or something, we keep it in the king, and king gives us, yes, in return, whenever you return this particular amount of note, I will return you 100 bags of wheat. That was something that was used. Now we have leveraged from wheat, we have created something else, and that is used across in the entire world in the form of denomination. The major purpose of the banks was that to preserve your currency. Currency can be in any form, to preserve some of your asset. That was some things. Now we have moved on to a point of definition where now whatever we are holding in the money is not pegged by anything. We had a very famous summit, Bretton Woods Summit in 1946, when all the winners of the parties came together and there was a transfer of power and America became the champion. They defined what money is. That was a petrodollar economy that was established at that point of time. Moved on from 1940s, there was an era of deep Cold War. And then there was war with Cuba, there was war with Vietnam that exuberated a lot of financial pressure on America. And before that, each and every note of American US dollar was pegged by gold. But then the depact said that money is now not pegged by anything. So now that piece of note that earlier kings used to give, that this piece of note is equivalent to one bag of rice or one bag of wheat, was in a similar manner continued over a generation, that one piece of US dollar is equivalent to some ounces of gold. Now that was completely decoupled in 1971, 15th of August. Since that point onwards, we have seen that money as a particular entity, we can say that money is what money provides. Money is what money provides us to share some value with something else. Money is what money can be used for. Money can be used to buy some things, but money is, does it hold any value in itself? That we have to see. Intrinsically, that money does not hold that much value. We have two different models of money. One of them is Austrian model, which says that money is something which should be used as a holder of money, and other is Keynesian model, which says that money is a principle which works on inflation. That means if I have some money, I need to spend it across, more spend it, because intrinsically the money will keep on losing its value because of inflation and other reasons as well. Now, this is a model which is currently moving that allows major powers to keep hold of us and economically, monetarily keep us under a lot of check as well. Now, this has been a previous evolution of money. Now, what exactly is money? Yes, if you can see that money is used for exchanging value. Money need to have certain denomination as well. I cannot have a money which is 100 kilograms of gold. That is the only form of money. That is, we need to have certain denomination so that I can go in the market and purchase a single pen as well. So there need to be some denomination as well. And one of the very important property of money is it should be limited quantity. Why was gold used as a form of currency exchange? Because, to be very honest, gold had limited reserves, and to fetch and create certain gold, you need to mine them. It required certain energy to be created. Now, all this discussion when I am creating, understand that my major intention is to keep you towards what is stable coins and why we need stable coin. That is a entire evolution we are discussing here in this particular aspect, that what exactly is going towards in this current economy and what are the things which stable coins as a currency can solve. As a transfer of value, money is doing exceptionally well, which I can say that. But as a holder of value, intrinsic value, I doubt. If I use current currency, whatever you can think it, rupee, dollar, whatever, can I use that particular currency, store it in my current wherever wallet or bank account and say that this is generational wealth that I am creating? I doubt that particular regard as well. There have been certain case studies that I have seen, talk to real person in talk, people in Argentina, which in last 75 years, Argentina, if somebody in their forefathers have said that they are kings and queens and princes and whatnot, they have 1 billion of that particular currency in Argentinian currency. Now that value is less than 100 in current denomination as well. If you peg that particular currency to US dollar and whatever you could have purchased at that point of time, if you look at that one, it has so much devalued. The money has been rebooted at least 4 to 5 times in Argentina, and so is the case with many other countries as well. You might also be reflecting on different cases as well. Now, this has been the evolution of currency in particular regard, and when we say that money can be used to purchase some assets, and over a period of time, it has moved towards from material to digital, and it's just a fragment of time that, as in the case when the money moved from salt and gold to paper to now digital currency, where I can transfer some money and you can purchase any amount of things sitting here, to digital currency. Now it's just the next respect that we also want the digitization to be even further and stronger as well. So if you look at the evolution of money, that was real hard gold or real hard credit, if you can say that, in the form of wheat, you can denominate that. That from onward to paper we have, that from onward to we have digital currency where we can transfer it to something else, which we say that now every country is coming up with their own digital currencies. But now it's just the iteration that we want to move it even further. It's the evolution that is implicit, that is going on, that will go on as well. Okay, now again, we have seen many things as well, but as a participant, I need to ask you that, sorry, what do you think are the major properties for money? You can speak it across. You can say as well, what is money? I mean, according to you, if you can say that, just type in the case is this money is used for whatever you remember. Again, it is important for us that whatever be my perception for you is fluid and dynamic. You can change your opinion about me. So is everyone's opinion about you may change. So don't be pegged to your opinion that I am this and that. Just be natural. It's okay to be you as well, whichever is right or wrong, doesn't matter that way. So you can just be whatever you feel. What is money for you? What do you think is money?
Sir, money is a medium of exchange.
Thank you so much.
And I say money is what money does. So
Absolutely.
anything which is doing the function of money is money.
Exactly. So that is very famous definition of money. Money is what money does. Many authors
Yeah,
say
money
initial.
is what money does.
Yes. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to say something on this particular
More
aspect?
importantly, it is a medium of exchange which should be universally accepted whenever you are doing a transaction. So acceptance is also one important thing. So you are calling something money, but that money is not accepted, and because of that you cannot execute a transaction, right? So it should facilitate the transaction and it should be accepted as a medium of exchange.
Absolutely. You have listed all the 5 properties of money. Thank you so much, sir. Um, let us say someone else who can say something, and then we can again summarize. And this slide also lists out many of the things as well. You can read it across and write it as well.
So here Miss Poonam is saying more the money, more powerful you become.
Absolutely. That is correct as well. Money also exuberates power. Why do anyone buy so expensive good? That is power and authority and respect is driven by sometimes as well. And that's one of the properties as well for any human being. Correct. Thank you so much.
According to Dr. Shweta, money is a requirement for reading life.
Yes, everyone deserves abundance, both financial, emotional, economic. This is what you deserve ultimately. You deserve abundance. Somehow or other, in couple of textbooks I can remember, one of the textbooks is Think and Grow Rich, other is The Science of Getting Rich, both of by famous author. Apparently in Think and Grow Rich, Science of Getting Rich, there is hardly a mention of money. So we can really question ourselves as that, does rich and abundance require money, or is it only pegged to money? Or as sir says, that money is what money does. We can use it for that purpose only. Money is what money does. It allows us to purchase something. It allows us to buy certain goods, and it allows us to transfer some value to others as well. And that is very right. Again, so what are the functions of money? We can summarize that as well. So money can be used as an account for payment. It can store value, both intrinsically and non-intrinsically. It has some value. If you say that yes, money is used for what money does, to transfer a value, to share something with others, as yes, it is non-intrinsic. But as soon as I say that money itself holds some value, that is an intrinsic part of it. That money, to hold a value, it's intrinsic property of money. As a gold itself holds a value. Why? Because gold is limited, and to create new gold you require to do certain more energy. And ultimately, because of the commercial aspects of gold, it will always be certain that if it takes certain amount of energy, let's say XYZ amount of dollars to create 1 ounce of gold, and everyone takes almost that point of energy in the economic market, it will be sold at those XYZ plus theta amount of that traded of that particular thing in the terms of value. So now this is something which we know of right now, that money itself holds something. But what has happened over a period of last 50 years is that money is created by banks without strict need of pre-existing funds or reserves, and making the supply of potentially infinite or almost costless. Now, there was a very famous example when one of the famous authors, I think researcher, went to different banks and asked them to take loan from them. And he was granted loan, and informally he asked them, did you check it across in your assets, that do you have that much amount of reserves or not? And all of their bank managers said, no, we did not check it across. We just printed money on the fly and they give it across. Yes, banks have that. You can have X amount of money and you can give X into 5, X into 10, X into 20, some amount of credit. But in that particular case, all the bank managers said, we did not even check it across, that whether we are meeting the criteria of X into 10, X into 20, if we are holding the value of X. Other point is that to create $100 of worth of currency, it just requires less than 1 cent or less than $1 for a Federal Reserve Bank or central bank in USA to create that amount of currency. So what do you see that? To create the currency, it just requires somebody to press a button, and they can create infinite amount of money with very least amount of cost as well. So this has happened over a period of time. And that is one of the reasons because of which the economic and current principles of the money, we say many of the problems are occurring in that particular regard. So despite the lack of banking, money holds some perceived value. We get our salaries, and we trade across in terms of goods in form of still money. Whatever has happened, there are still certain laws and rules of code that are existing, which still hold a value. Now, there are certain economic implications and risks because of the current economic and financial principles. So the existing interactions between money result into inflation, financial bubbles. Again, the word bubble comes from the fact that this is inflation as well. If you look at the intrinsic word of inflation, that is the bubbles in itself. The bubble, basically inflation means that the money is more in circulation than the actual value of goods that are in currency. So what, as an economic decider of the currency, I may have to print certain money to forecast that in future 1 year, 2 year down the line, how many goods would be produced. Now, if my forecast is way off the line, that I print almost twice the amount of currency and float it across in the market, and the amount of growth in the terms of goods in the perceived value of goods is not there, it results into inflation, and that ultimately results into increase in value. So we need to be very careful of that. That is the current idea. It's not just that inflation means that certain goods which are decided by certain people, that is the denomination of inflation. Rather, we have carefully kept aside the value of inflation. We never considered the education cost, never considered the cost of different assets, never considered the cost of different land and other things as well in the actual denomination of inflation. So we need to be very careful of that. Because of the current economic principle, we have more money, or rather we have the power to print more money and give more money in the economy than actual amount of worth of goods that are produced or can be produced in next X amount of months. And this economic principle gives excess amount of liquidity, which results into price increase and which increases market volatility, and the financial crisis are a result of that. So if you can understand that if I am a principal generator of certain currencies, I keep on giving so much amount of credit to anyone and everyone. So what will happen is that money in the amount of circulation in the economy will keep on increasing. I means I can be a bank, I can be direct central bank, or I can be anything else. I keep on giving loans, keep on printing more money. That will ultimately result into the power that there is a lot of excess liquidity, and because of which prices will increase, volatility will increase, and financial crisis will ultimately be there. That bubble will one day burst and things will happen. This excess money creation does not generate wealth, but only the anticipation for it, leading to a potential financial instability. That is something for us to understand. That if all of us are given 10 lakh rupees out of thin air and suddenly our salaries increase, or somebody from the government gives that, yes, here is a 10 lakh rupees, suddenly. Now what will happen is that actually we have not created excess wealth, we have created excess money. And this is the anticipation of wealth that has increased, which leads to some financial instability. So these fiat money regimes, which are not backed by any commodity, which have a lot of risk, result into excess of liquidity. And that is one of the reasons where a lot of risks and problems come into our existing system. So now if you understand something in this particular last regard, can you help me out that what is the biggest problem with current financial system according to you, if you can see that? What is the biggest problem according to you? I mean, it may be in the last 5 minutes what we have discussed, or it can be something else can be there. Again, you can always argue and dialogue and discuss what I have specified. I don't want to create a lot of fear, but just to give out certain real aspects or real things into your perspective. That was just discussion, and every word or every sentence that has been specified need to be, oh, I think I specified.
So Dua sir, here Ms.
Yeah.
Poonam is writing that sometimes the money hides your wrong deeds that you have done.
Correct, absolutely. So if you want to understand someone, you can look at the social media profile. You will get something about that particular person. But if you find out how and where the person is spending money, you will get out too much more. You can say wrong things openly, publicly, which you are not true. But if you get to know where you are spending money across, where my medical bills are going, you will get to know about my financial and health situation as well, where I'm spending, where I'm taking Ola, Uber to, where I'm spending money. I have purchased some necklace I am not given to my wife. You get to know a lot more things about me. So if you get to know my purchasing history, guaranteed that you will get to know much, much more about me than any of my social media and my outings will tell about me. So thank you so much. So yes, this is something, again, the question is still open that what is the problem with current money that we are having? Anyone else want to say?
Yeah, Miss Jyoti is writing, how can FOMO contribute to the rapid escalation of asset prices? If Jyoti is there, she can unmute and she can ask her question.
Yeah.
Jyoti, are you there?
I think I have understood somewhat of her
Uh,
question, that she says that we have a fear of missing out, which contributes. Fear of missing out means that that maybe fear of missing out of certain other price escalation. Yes, Jyoti, you can speak out on fear of missing out on what you may say that which result into price escalation. If you can unmute, please. Missing out of what? FOMO of what?
Puneet ji, give access to Jyoti so that she can unmute and she can speak.
Oh, she can't. That's a question she's asking, but she has some experience in her real life, which she has seen the rapid escalation of asset prices. Maybe she's talking about crypto prices.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Jyoti.
Good morning, sir.
good morning.
Basically, there are always a fear of missing out. So, what kind of factors who create this FOMO and contribute to the rapid acceleration of asset price?
Can you?
What are the factors? What are the basically factors who affect that?
Can I ask you one or two questions, Jyoti ma'am?
Yes, sir.
In your real life, which particular asset have you seen price escalation, rapid escalation?
Rapid escalation. There are a lot of things. The prices are going rise and rise. Okay. If we are not going so far, if we are taking about the clothes and anything else, the prices is going rise and rise, and after that they give the discount on that thing. So that is a basically what kind of a, I just want to know what kind of a factors who are affecting these any kind of a thing. It's not a particular asking about.
Correct. So let me just understand my observation according to your answer, that we have different assets. Let's say the land, we have
Yes.
seen the asset like crypto. We have seen the
Yes,
asset,
yes.
even the diaper of a baby as well, that's prices also increase from
Yes.
the factor of the dal and atta, and from these aspect to any particular share which is having a particular, from the mobile phones as well. I mean, these prices
Yes.
also increase.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if I have purchased a land 20 years ago, the
Mhm.
price of land is something different now. Then I could have led my entire 20 years earning that money and saving. Still, the price is not saved that much that the
Yes.
escalation of that particular land is there. Similarly, different assets. I think you're talking about in that particular aspect.
Yes.
That
Yes.
what,
Yes. Why is
Okay.
that so?
Yeah. So understand that every asset that is there moves to satisfy the biggest invested party in that particular asset. Any asset I'm talking about, that whether it is land,
Okay.
whether it is money, whether it is equity, which is a share, whether it is crypto
Mhm.
market as well. And every
Mhm.
asset class moves in 4 cycles. And every cycle has 4 stages, sorry. So in 4 stages, one of them is accumulation of wealth, and other couple of
Okay.
things are the transfer of wealth, and fourth is a crash of the wealth. And that
Okay.
is a crash of wealth, a crash of the prices where it is getting stabilized. So let's assume
Okay.
we take any price of any commodity. If you look at the share market, it's
Mhm.
the cycle is for 7 to 13 years. If you look at
Mhm.
crypto market, its cycle is 4 years. If you look
Okay.
at any particular asset, other market, which is any commodity like oil, gold, or
Mhm.
any, this also moves in a particular cycle as well. And
Mhm.
that cycle is primarily there to satisfy the most invested people, the most powerful people in that
Okay.
particular
Okay.
category. Now, when we look at that, initially the prices will not increase. This is the
Yes.
time where most of the people, the powerful people, will start grabbing those assets, and
Mhm.
slowly the price will increase. Now, we as a
Yes.
common people will get to know that the prices are increasing, and we buy
Yes.
the
Yes. Yes.
asset at the highest of the prices. And
Mhm.
that is the second and third stage. You keep on moving and exchanging those prices, and the message goes across that this price is increasing.
Mhm.
Now, as soon as this is very short stage, second and third stage, mostly the
Mhm.
fourth stage is something where the prices crash, is some all of us lose money.
Mhm.
So if you understand that in which particular, if you're going to buy a certain mutual funds or any bonds, understand that in which particular stage that market is.
Okay. Everyone works on a basically a cycle.
Yes, if you understand
That
that the currently
that
market
there
in the
is a
fourth
kind of a
stage,
time
yeah,
period for the particular thing. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
to
Got it.
satisfy the particular invested party. So you can
Got it.
remember that that will help you invest in a particular asset class
Got
very
it. Thank you.
appropriately.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So Amit sir, Sarita Gulia is asking, is it a big risk to have too much money for economy?
In your pocket and you are not spending. It depends upon in what particular form that your money is holding. So if you're holding money in form of gold, if you're holding money in the form of just cash, if you're holding money in the form of some other assets, and why you're holding money. If you're holding money, money itself is something that gives you something. Money is what money provides or money does. So why are you using this money for? In the future that you may be using this money for education of your next generation. It may be for marriage of your some other friends. It may be for your health. It may be for your retirement. Even in the retirement, what you are purchasing for. When you're holding some money, what you are going to use it for. So understand that you have to use and store the money for that particular aspect. Now, a more important question is, where should I hold money so that I am saved from all this risk? And we have all the uptake and without any downtake for the current whatever catastrophe that may happen in economy. And what are the risks that are associated with that? You understand that. Again, we have never been told about inflation. We have never been told about debt. We have never been told about taxes. Nothing has been told about to us. Currently, any particular Federal Reserve Bank or any chairman person can decide in a president or Senate decides in USA, we are printing $1 trillion more economy. In the currency, suddenly the money is pumped in. That will trickle off in our country as well. And suddenly the prices will skyrocket. And this is something which we need to be very careful of as a risk. So if you're holding too much money, the inflation will increase, the price of money will start getting devalued. So this is something a big risk. Whatever you could have bought 20 years ago in the same 100 rupees, I'm sure that it is way less than currently now. Why this is there? Because the value of money is going down. Value of money means what money can do for you. What 100 rupees note or 100,000 rupees could do for you 20 years ago, less thing can be done in that now. The reason for this is that a lot of debt has been incurred, a lot of money is in circulation, which is disproportionate to the amount of value goods that we are producing. So if we were considerate in that particular thing, use it properly, the thing would have been not that much problem. As soon as we print a lot much more amount of money given circulation, and then suddenly the goods are not produced in that denomination. Yes. That is something very, very, yes, Madhu, please.
Dr. Amit, actually, this is not a very simple question to answer.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of things which are interconnected, as you had already mentioned on your slide, right? Because once we're talking about the financial system consists of 4 important components. So the one part of financial system is financial market. The second part of financial system is financial institutions. The third part of financial system is financial services. Then, of course, we're talking about the financial instrument, right? Primarily, you're talking about the currency and cryptocurrencies. Now, the financial environment is going to play an important role. So we're talking about a lot of things here. The volatility we're talking about interest rate fluctuation. We are talking about inflation rate. We're talking about the fluctuation in exchange rate between one currency and another currency. Then, of course, there are many other economic factors, those both at the national and international level, which are affecting. Then it also depends on your investment behavior and investment pattern. How are you investing? In what type of assets you are investing? And now, what is the risk level associated with your investment, right? So generally we say that more risk you are going to take, it is going to contribute to more profit. So the risk return relationship is important. So how well you are going to assess risk, right? And of course, if you are holding excess money with you, your profitability will reduce. And if you are, investing your money in long-term assets, then your liquidity will go down. And then the market forces are always going to play a very important role in determining the price and the fluctuation, right? Like you had mentioned about the 4 stages in any assets, right? Starting from the accumulation, holding, then increase, and then crash is going down. So this all depend upon the demand and supply thing, right? So in a nutshell, there's a lot of things which are going to contribute to this. So ultimately, when we are talking about what to hold, what to invest, it is something very individual to individual, depend upon your investment objectives and the investment perspective, the amount of risk you want to take in your investment, what are your requirement, when do you want to see your money mature, right? So, but keeping each and everything in mind, the one sole purpose of investment is to secure your principal amount, right? So that you know your principal amount should not deteriorate. So of course you are going to, and the second, to compensate your investment with reference to inflation and interest rate risk, right? So you're talking about value of money, right? So value of money is going to decrease gradually with the passage of time. So value of 100 rupees, which is today, is not going to be the same, and it is going to be less. So this is what we discuss in finance also. The value of money decreases. So that's the important thing. Another important consideration in your investment decision, right? So I think there's a lot of things. The issue is such that when you are answering to a question like this, there's a lot of things going to come into picture. You've already highlighted on your slide. So inflation, right? So it is also inflation, interest, all these concepts are related with the supply of money. So when you have a more supply in economy, the purchasing power increases, the demand increases, the prices increases, and prices increases, it goes to inflation. And similarly, you know, on other hand, right, when we are talking about the progress, development, right, of course, without increasing the money supply, you cannot create the demand. So this is what RBI is doing with monetary policy and going to restrict the supply of money. And simultaneously, there are many other you know, the participants, those they are acting, right?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for nicely, absolutely clarifying the aspect, I think. So I won't go about in this particular respect, but I just want to understand from you, understand that money is a complex phenomena in its respect, and it has its various parties which are playing a role. And when we are talking about a stable coin, before the concept of stable coin, there was an era in 2003, 13 and 14, where the Bitcoin had become very famous, in which we had a secondary form of money, which was not controlled by anyone, which satisfies that it holds a value, it can be used to transfer a value, and it has a lot of denomination, and it is limited in supply. Now, with the success of that particular thing, many people in 2015 came up with Ethereum, and there was a different era of tokenization that started with anyone and everyone started creating their own tokens, and they started calling it as a cryptocurrency. So a cryptocurrency is different than a stable coin, and stable coin can be anything. So understand that when we're talking about this particular thing, we are talking about something which initially we started off with a bag of gold and a bag of wheat, which is denominated by any particular king, and said that this is a note which satisfies backed by that. Now, all these crypto assets are not backed by anything for that matter. So if you are not very careful of that, what that particular thing is backed by, even if you buy a particular piece of share in BSE, NSE on that, they are backed by a particular company that is working on behind it. Now, when we start trading on these cryptocurrencies, hardly there is any time when we get to know what is actually going behind that, which is quite contrary to what stable coins are. Let me just answer you on the what stable coin is, and then we can discuss more upon on that particular aspect, that what does it provide and what are the upticks and what are the downticks on this stable coin. Now, stable coin, in very simply, this is a digital currency pegged to an asset to maintain the price stability. That is, in very short, that is a stable coin. So it is a digital currency. A digital currency, we all know that we also are coming up with digital rupee, which is also in last stage of its trial. It is also in similar way as a digital currency, which is pegged to an asset to maintain its price stability. That is one of the things, and its key features are accessibility, that many people, and rather all the people, should be able to access the digital currency. It facilitates fast transactions, it has price stability, and it is programmable. That means the currency that is created, it is created after programming. It is not something that we say that it is created after mining a lot of things. It is not Bitcoin, which is which is created after a lot of mining effort, or a gold that is mining, it is created after programming. This is something very important for us to understand. However, this is pegged to a particular asset. Now, based upon what asset it is pegged to, we have different categories of stable coins. One of them is fiat collateralized. That means to create one particular piece of worth equivalent of gold, we collateralize 1.05 or some amount of fiat currency in reserve to create that particular stable coin. This is one. Second, now why do we want to keep that dollar reserve? If you want to create $1 equivalent of a stable coin, let's take it as USDT. It's a stable coin, and that one, it is always equivalent to $1. That somebody said that yes, I am creating a coin, its value is always equivalent to $1. Why? Because in lieu of that, I will keep equivalent how many amount of USDT I'm in circulation. I will always keep equivalent amount of dollars in my reserve. Now, what is the reason for that? You can always use US dollar as well in the bank, isn't it? And then use that US dollar. The problem with that is that that bank will not hold always all the equivalent amount of dollars that they should hold. So there can be a possibility of bank run, which is in contrast to this fiat collateralized money, that they always have to have how much amount of stable coins are in circulation. They need to keep minimum plus some threshold in their reserve. And the collateral to create that stable coin, if it is fiat collateralized, that is a fiat currency. Sometimes it is commodity collateralized. That is a precious metal that you can keep it, like a gold you can keep in reserve, and you can create a equivalent or something similar to a gold stable coin that we can use it. Then there are crypto collateralized. That means linked to a crypto like Bitcoin or Ether. You keep in collateral these crypto assets and create a leveraged currency, and that is that we say that it is a stable coin. Other is sometimes algorithmic stable coin that we have seen in case of Luna and Terra. One of them was a cryptocurrency, and algorithmically created a stable coin whose value was pegged to it, and any error in the algorithm result into crash fall in that particular stable coin. So understand that whatever the stable coin we're considering it across, its major principle, and why we are using it stable coin. Why can't we use directly dollar as well? So we have seen in certain countries like Argentina, we have seen in our neighbor country as well, next to neighbor country as well, Turkey, where the price of that currency falls like anything. And sometimes the economy is such a way that we are not ready for using US dollar always. So then somebody comes in the picture and say that, yes, we have a stable currency, stable coin. And on the top of stable coin, we can create more programs. We can create more circulation of money on top of that stable coin that can accept. So now I can pay to somebody in our local denomination, which in form of rupee, and everyone can trade it across. Now suddenly you trade it across in dollar, things would need to change. Every amount of things had to change. But now, as soon as I say that there is a stable coin on top of dollar, which is equivalent to that, which is programmatically created. Now I am not directly tying up myself on that particular system to always use dollar and keep myself in dollar and have the dollar as well. Although to purchase that particular crypto asset or that particular stable coin, we need to have that particular amount equivalent of worth of money in that particular picture. To understand even in that particular thing as well, what are the applications for it? Not only it stores a value because it is pegged by something, understand that something is holding its value. That can be its existing fiat asset, that can be a commodity, that can be a combination of that as well. It can be used to trade certain assets as well, like buying and selling certain any asset, which can be a commodity, which can be land, which can be share as well. It can be used to transfer money at lower costs. So now transferring money from one country to another in the form of any fiat currency would take a lot of transfers or a lot of writing in different ledgers, which takes a lot of amount of cost. If you're using a stable coin on top of it, we can use it at lower costs. And it can facilitate, of course, international monetary transfer. Not only that, even in within the currency, if the currency is free falling, like in Argentina and in Turkey, that stable coins are very good alternative for using it across. And the existing system on top of it can be built very nicely. Understand that these stable coins are centralized. They are not decentralized. Do not think about in terms of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, which sell in the name of being decentralized. These are completely centralized. We are believing in a federation. We are trusting in a federation on the fact that these federation have some collateral equivalent to that, backed by that. And their current financial system, which are outdated, as we have seen that outdated in the sense that there are certain errors or there are certain issues that keeps on surfacing over and above them. And it is inefficient. Mostly it is costly. Understand from that point onwards as well. It has served us to a great degree. A lot of amount of growth has happened in different currencies and different countries as well. And there are issues that can crumble as well in the system. So I am not suggesting to completely replace it across, but there are things which it can satisfy on the aspects where they are. So what is the stability mechanism of stable coin? It is backed on reserve by commodity or fiat or in a combination of that. These funds are supporting the stable coin, are invested in treasury bills and can be redeemed as and when. So if you have a stable coin, you go to that particular federation and they need to return equivalent amount of that reserved currency in top of it. So stability is maintained through various backing mechanism. That is idea for it. Again, before summarizing it, there are a lot of challenges and risks associated with that as well. The first and foremost risk is that we are believing in a federation. Even if we are spending or purchasing USDT or any other stable coin, we're believing in the federation that they have kept equal amount of collateral on top of it. We first time are able to see a correct difference between the cryptocurrency and the stable coins and the Bitcoin and the fiat currency in that period. So there is a clear day and light difference in term of it. So we can be very clear of when we are investing, what we are investing in, and for what purpose that amount of money can be used for. These issues are very important for us to understand all the vulnerabilities, technical as well as financial vulnerabilities, which poses a risk, and regulatory compliances for any particular country and federation as well. Sovereign territory as well. Be very clear of these risks as well before adopting and utilizing internally in the system. What is the future for it? Yes, we can have increased adoption, not completely replacing that, but wherever the places like in the economies and the countries where there is a free fall completely, the current system is again on the front of reboot on those currencies. That point of time, this type of stable coins pose a great deal of stability. At the same time, an alternative for people to trade and work ahead and use money for what it can be used for earlier as well. It can be used to integrate with the traditional financial systems to ensure that there are a lot of repetitions that are there because of which the current system is a bit slow and costly, can be removed or can be made faster as well. All these regulatory and compliance aspects need to evolve. Many countries are coming up with their own CBDCs. This also plays a crucial role that economies are coming up with their own central bank digital currencies, which also paves the way for its own education and utility as well. Always it improves and facilitates innovation as well. Innovation in the fact that how can these stable coins be used, which are not controlled and regulated and be monitored in the sense of where they are used for. However, there are compliance aspect. Clearly, there anyone can see and anyone can follow if the money is going towards for a wrong purpose as well. So it can be used for disruption in the existing financial services for giving cheaper and better and other services as well. There are other things which we need to be careful of while using. Although there are advancement in technical innovation, the market dynamics also plays a very important role, and it is very important for us to be very clear of what money is, and the technological side for it is important for understanding the overall cryptocurrency adoption, where the stable coins are one of very small aspect in that particular aspect as well. So I am here opening some questions here because I'm sure that there will be some questions which you want to ask, and there are some prizes that I want to give as well. Okay, one thing I think Shweta is asking is, will the inclusion of digital currency in the country influence the economy or state or traditional currency INR to India? Yes, so Indian government is also rolling up. Last visit of tests are going on for Indian owned CBDC, that is e-Rupee. So your question is that digital currency like CBDC in a country influence the economy? Yes, understand that as finance minister and many people say that to print the amount of money and to keep it in circulation, printing cost itself, even though it is very less, still it is some cost. So when we have CBDC, that again becomes slim to none. This is one. So in an economy, the cost for printing and cost for keeping track of the money becomes less. If the country, if the CBDC or the digital currency is backed by the sovereign state, that is let's say territory of India that is there. Traditional currency and it does not impact if it is backed by current economic system, current federation. Now, your question is different if you're using stable coins as a digital currency, and when we're using that on top of it, how much does it influence? Understand it can influence very positively. One, that today there is a lot of talks that cryptocurrency can be used for terrorism, and we don't know where it is used for. Understand that if my money goes from my account and goes to another account and is used for after that 5 different purposes, I don't know where it is going through. However, the compliance aspect in cryptocurrencies is so phenomenally great that just at the fingertips, you can see where the money is going and where all things are flowing through as well. So it is rather opposite, that when we are using the digital currencies, even further, the compliance aspect can be made very, very easier and stable and simpler as well. The traditional currency and traditional economic system, at least the basic principle would remain intact, and they will be used as a current dynamic to satisfy the basic purpose of money. In very short, I can answer that, Shweta. This is something which is there. If you have any specific question, you can even ask in detail as well, which is better for investment. Stablecoin, understand that there is a proper risk involved with all of them, stablecoins, cryptocurrencies, and all the assets as well. As Madhukar sir has already mentioned, that you need to understand your risk profile, need to have complete education and knowledge of all the different assets, their risk to reward ratio, and take a diversified portfolio for you. That is something. Don't keep all your assets in one basket. That is something which I would say, that unless you are 100% aware of the federation, even in those stable coins, there is always a risk that these are the federation, these are the companies. You are investing in those stable coins not in your country, because you believe that the current federation, which is your country, is not doing the right job, and that federation which is leveraging or which is issuing the stable coin will do a better job. So understand that the education is very important when you are investing there. Even when you're investing in cryptocurrency, understand that they are not backed by anything. Rather, completely, I can say that slim to none backing is there for any cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency is even more riskier in the sense that stablecoin, at least the federation claims that they are backed by some asset. Rather, cryptocurrencies, apart from Bitcoin, they are backed by none, and they're controlled by federation. They can be created at a particular button, any amount of thing. Most of the ones, including Ether, were initially having proof of work. Now they have moved on to proof of stake, which is again another form of making more control of that particular asset and those federation as well. So understand where you are moving. Bitcoin is a different beast altogether, is a different affair. All other cryptocurrencies are a different affair, technically, as well as the trends clearly show that as well. And the stable coins are a different affair as well. So I think Major General JS will have answered you. Any other question that anyone wants to ask with respect to this? Now, things have gone towards some in very fast pace as well. I have promised you something, which I will give it to you. But before that, anyone wants to ask anything, they are free to give it.
So, sir, here is one question from Manoj Pandey ji. He is asking, can you please tell about Shiba Inu is a stable coin or not? Is it backed by anything or not?
What do you think? What do you think, sir? I would request that you can. So now Shiba Inu is coming into your picture. You can keep on asking 500 different questions like that. Understand that. Do your own deliberate research as well. Okay. Before that, I am surprises for you. So this is one of the courses. You can buy it. There is a coupon code is already associated with it. You can purchase it for free if you are a participant. You are aware. You are alive. You can use that. So answer to that. What is a stable coin? You see that what is the property of a stable coin? The stable coin need to be having an equivalent or rather more amount of collateral in that particular stored in there, rather would need to be there to create any particular stable coin. Does Shiba Inu have that? You have to decide upon your own, do your own deliberation as well. It has been tested that many other stable coins have shown the crumbling as well. They say that they are backed by it, but what is backed by it? Has it been tested before or not? So there was a time when, if you remember the case of Terra and Luna, one of the coins was already existing cryptocurrency, and some algorithmically another stable coin was created which was backed by crypto. Now it was short selling was so easy that, let's take an example of USDT. Now USDT is pegged at $1. Now, somebody can go in the secondary market and say that I will sell USDT for 0.99. I mean, less than $1 as well. I will start selling at that particular price as well. So anyone who buys it across can use it and sell it across at a primary market for $1 as well. So I can buy it $0.99 and sell it at $1 in a different market as well. That's arbitrage flow can go across, and that's the point where the testing of that particular currency can be there. So it was a point of time where USDT was tested, and over a period of 4 weeks or less than that, $20 billion was redeemed from that point of a currency. That shows that they have close to $1 trillion in asset, and they can liquefy $20 billion at a moment notice as well within a short amount of time. So has Shiba Inu been tested? Maybe, maybe not. This is for us to decide upon. Now, where will you do the research upon? Go to their white paper, see for it on what particular thing it is backed by it or not. Is it just a cryptocurrency, which is another form of Solana or Polygon or Ether or BAT, any other cryptocurrency coin? So this is for us to decide upon. If it is any coin, which is another token for any base amount of economy or any company, you need to be very aware of. I am not here to tell you right or wrong, but I'm giving you an education that if it is a cryptocurrency means backed by a particular company. Which company will grow, the coin need to grow, may grow, or rather should grow. But how much do you trust in that particular company, or that they do not create more such amount of coins and other things you need to be very clear of. So this is something. We can do something right now and test it across on different online, but I would be happy that you can do your own research. And please let me know if you require something, some more things as well. Thank you so much, Manoj Pandey. As a stable coin, and their underlying infrastructure is more vulnerable to security breaches and hacks, then what kind of preventive actions can be taken for long-term security? Yes. So understand that when we're talking about the security breaches, we underline mean that my currency will devalue. This is not the risk, at least if it is backed by real gold or real some other currency. First, second security risk, you may think of that. The current complete company goes across in a cyber security risk or cyber attack. That again is for us to test it across at how strong their security systems are. Other risk is that they start doing what SBF did, and means they did not tell it very honestly. So all these 3 different type of risks we need to be aware of from that point onward, the hacks and risks. Preventive actions is that we believe in the federation. Apart from that, there is nothing. Have they been tested it across? As we believe in Indian national rupee, as we believe in dollar, as we believe in gold, we believe in this particular type of an asset class as well, which is a programmatically built, which is backed by a particular asset. However, this, because of that stable coin, we have a lot of upticks of the technology and innovation side. We can use it to create more. At the same time, reduce the cost of current economic sector and make sure that the whatever issues that are there in the current economy can and potentially technologically be reduced. This is what the major outcome for this is. Now your question is, for the long-term success of stable coin in the financial ecosystem, we need to look for it that we need to have a proper compliance and the regulatory aspect for them to be inbuilt and to be part of it. So if today India wants to have its own stable coin, we already are having it across as well. So for us, if you want to use some other stable coin, like some backed by gold or something else, we need to be clearly aware of that. What are the current regulatory and compliance aspect? Do they allow, do they not allow? How much do they allow us to trade with it? These things are very important for us. Unless there is a clear-cut policy for that, things will be very difficult to be integrated in the existing system. Okay. So again, since you are a very good audience, I think initially I had to have a prize for it, but giving the fact that there need to be some more airdrops as well. Any other question that you want to ask?
Yes, sir. There is one more question from Dr. Sarita. She's
Yeah.
asking, can you brief about hybrid stable coins? Any algorithm is there to keep the price stable?
Yeah. So, okay, this is another airdrop that is there. This book is available for free tomorrow. just for tomorrow, not today. You can keep the link and you can purchase the book tomorrow. A Kindle edition will be free. Now, there have been different types of token economics that are coming into picture. So now, initially, there was one currency that was there, that was fiat currency that was there, and that was digital. Then came into Bitcoin. Now, because we have leveraged, and as the banks can create currency out of thin air and can be used for giving credit and buying something more, many companies had a loophole. They found out some one of them were decent, but a lot of them created the economy out of thin air and created a coin, which is any coin, and they traded off the coin in the secondary market or any wallet or any exchange to buy something. That was current. That was that we can call it as a cryptocurrency. The things have moved on towards, now we are coming into decentralized finance and now moving on to hybrid finance as well. The term decentralized finance means that that particular financial system is not controlled by anyone. The very fact that we are on a particular exchange, which is run by a particular existing exchange, which can be anyone, they are creating hybrid finance exchange, is completely baffled in one particular aspect. Decentralized means decentralized when you are using some other central service on top of it to utilize decentralized finance. That is not pure decentralized in one aspect. You are believing in any federation. Even it may be anything. It can be the Octo, which is decentralized finance created by CoinDCX, or some other form of decentralized finance which are already in market, some things. Now, what does hybrid finance come into picture? They wanted to leverage both the things, that we have something here, something there. And the definition of hybrid, when I ask some other experts across the globe, what do you mean by hybrid finance? Is there a stable definition for it, and how we can use it in the current existing system to leverage it together? The definition and understanding which I got, I am not completely satisfied. So I am not here anyway fit to answer you on regarding the hybrid finance or hybrid economy, since I do not have a clear understanding of what is it. So I hereby accept my limitation here, that I don't know about that. Thank you so much, Sarita. Okay. Anything else you want to ask?
As such, there is no question, sir, in the chat box.
So
If any participants have any question, they can raise and they can write here in the chat box also.
yeah. So now, if you don't have any question, as a particular teacher, I need to ask some questions from you, which are very important for me to understand how much have I been able to go in depth. If you can be a bit honest, it will be helpful to me to help us in proper respect. Sorry. See, there are various ways in which when you entered into this particular session, 1.5 hour session, 1 hour 15-minute session, what was the purpose for you to be part of it in the entire FDP, and for this particular small aspect for it? This had to be decided previously, but I could not give it to you something for free. I had 3 commitments in the beginning that I would explain it to you, what is why we are needing stable coin, what is a stable coin, and what can we do with respect to the stable coin. This was the 3 commitments from me. Why we need stable coins, I explained it to you in very, very brief regarding the current economic and financial system, that what are the issues, what are the things that may crumble across. I could not complete to even the slightest of a degree to justify what things, but I just gave you some hints that there are the issues that we are already facing, like inflation, like many other things as well, which surface across, and many of us are facing that as well. And because of this, we need some form of stability in our picture, that whatever currency we are using to trade it across, use it across, it has some stability, it is backed by something. That is what the idea of stable coin is, that allows us to have lesser costs in transition, that allows us to be more innovative in our solution. Innovative in the sense that whatever innovation goes across, the price of the commodity should go down. That stable coin allowed us, but it had its own downtake, in the sense of we are believing in a federation. We are using the federation for some greater amount of trust, and it may be possible that the current economy might not be used for. Now, the third question which Juhi is asking, that where can the stable coin be used for? What is the purpose for it? The stable coin is primarily used for internally in different economies that can be used for reducing the amount of extra work that the economy is doing. If I am using something on top of it, if my currency is free falling, then I can use stable coins to transact on that particular purpose till the time my currency is rebooted. We can also use stable coins wherever as form of monetary exchange, and to use stable coins for exchanging if I am not able to use a US dollar directly, or other person is not able to use US dollar directly. So we can use stable coin as good as US dollar, which is easier to purchase, easier to buy, easier to trade it across, and easier to take the real US dollar on top of it. So this is what the stable coin is. And that is it. It is nothing more, nothing less. It is again centralized. To understand exactly what is stable coin, again, Dr. Kushi, you were asking how we can use it, and there is creativity. That was the primary idea for it. Exactly, stable coin is basically a coin that is created, which is backed by some financial asset. And how we can use it? We can use it definitely to increase our innovation. We can use it to reduce certain types of other risks which the economy may present, and remove certain bottlenecks which may incur with existing financial system. The risk associated with it are directly that we are using federations. We need to understand that in the current economy which we are using it for it, there need to be some compliance and regulatory aspect in the territory in which we are using it as well. Not only we are trusting that particular party, but also we need to have proper regulatory and compliance framework to use it there. What is the biggest uptake for having the stable coin? We can see in clear daylight what is the current fiat system. We can see in current daylight what is Bitcoin. We can see in current daylight what is exact cryptocurrency. And because we had a stable coin, we can see that which of them are what. So because of it, we can easily see that fiat currencies are backed by economy, but they can be created at moment notice. We have seen Bitcoin, which is limited, which is completely based upon Austrian economy, which is deflationary asset. The asset is limited and its price will increase, but the amount of circulation will remain limited. And then there are cryptocurrencies which are not backed by completely anything, which are created out of thin air. We are only trusting the federation and not even anything backed by it. So this is one of the very important upticks for us. Now, because of that, seeing clear light, we can advance more properly in using this technology of Bitcoin and blockchain to create more innovative solution and use this thing in our daily life. If you understand that, if you can help me out, whether I am able to justify my purpose in this particular aspect, am I able to address your question in this particular aspect? If you have something, you can always reach to me in this ID. So before even I start any particular training program, I have the final, if suppose I am training someone on Bitcoin or blockchain, I first of all list down all the jobs that are there, which people can have it after going there. If anyone is trying to enter into this particular understanding or technology, need to have a final goal in mind, what they're going to use it for. If they're going to use it to create your own abundance, be clear of the fact that where I can use it for, then start discussing and making your pathways to reach to your goal as well. So the technology provides us some goal, and understanding the stable coins allows us to create a clear understanding of different aspects. So that was it. Dr. Kushba, how much time do I have more?
Sir, it depends on you, but we have limitations for 5 to 10 minutes more.
Okay, I think I have only questions to ask. I will not discuss any topic further. Again, Jyoti is asking an in-depth understanding of how money operates in the real world. Thank you, including our relevant aspects and strategic applications, and an evaluation of technological usefulness in current financial landscape. Thank you so much, Jyoti. You can always counter question me, challenge me, rather have a dialogue properly. If any of your understanding is not complete, because so many terms I have specified here, please write to me if in case you feel further discussion is required, some dialogue is required, you have some other observations, understanding, and furthermore, I will be happy to help you with respect to that. Again, thank you so much. You can always use the gifts that are there. Couple of them I have shared. One of the book is to be used tomorrow. Something you can use it for today as well. Again, this is limited. I mean, we can't say that it may be possible that after 30 or 40, if people try to use that current course, you may not be able to access, you may be required to pay for it. So there's a limitation that this coupon can be used for top, I think 30 or 40, something like that. It is there. So make sure that you purchase it.
Sir, here is one more question from Ms. Poonam. She is asking, will the value of gold will decrease in future?
See, again, that particular gold is primarily one of the things that requires us to dig it across the amount of value that is there. So there are various denominations. The value of a particular asset depends upon a lot of things, as initially specified by me, and sir has elaborated in greater detail as well. So if you remember what Madhukar has specified, the value of any particular asset depends upon a lot of things. A lot of things means really a lot of things, the price. If you understand actually if you're using the gold for what particular purpose, that again depends upon that. If you're looking at the cycle for it, yes, it may increase and decrease as a particular asset class. Whether it is going down will become zero, I highly doubt it across, because as in itself, we require it to create, we require some money and energy to create some more gold. So as in the particular thing, it will hold something, but over a period of time in the life cycle, the value of gold may increase or decrease because of different forces in play. But as we have a down cycle, like in a deflationary market, some of the assets go wipe out. So I highly doubt that gold will be like that. This is my personal opinion again.
I hope Ms. Poonam has got the answer. So Amit sir, from the entire faculty, I would like to ask one question: how we can make our student understand related to this area, and how they can enter in in making their career and doing the internship in this area and doing some projects, and also just tell us about how they can go for the hands-on practices. Will you be available for that in the near future?
Of course. So one of the important things is that I am here to train people. So with you personally, I can share you some of the jobs that are already existing in the crypto market and the Bitcoin market. So if any person is learning, it is important to practice that across separately. For me, if any particular trainer here are there, teacher here are there, we're most interested to train them, because as a person, it is important to create more other trainers they can leverage. If something is there in which some students, participants are there to learn, I would be more than happy. Rather, I would be rather delighted where I can share my knowledge and experience to enthusiastic students. Have a goal in mind that these students want to, let's say, earn X amount of money by the end of 3 months of training or 6 months of training. So I would be judged whether the person are able to earn that much amount of money, get that particular job, create that particular company. That is, so this really creates some sort of tracking as well. Similarly, for the set of teachers as well, if some faculty members get to be trained, this will enable us or help me even further, that I can train further teachers, those who can train other thousands of students as well.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Kushbu.
It was really very interactive sessions, and we are grateful that you are here and you have given your precious time to all of us in the online mode. Soon, I would like to see you here physically. I think we all want that you should be here physically to address our student and having the more hands-on sessions related to this area. So
Thank you
over
so much.
to Dr. Shweta.
So thank you so much for this splendid talk. And it covered money and stable coins. So you made the session interactive and you highlighted the requirements, application, and challenges of stable coins. It was really nice to hear you, sir. And it was a very comprehensive presentation that talked about aspects of economic principles associated with money and the its creation and inflation. That was very fruitful. I think all the participants must have gained some extra additional information from that. So it was great to listen to your ideas today, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shweta ma'am and Dr. Kushbu. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share the knowledge with all the participants. Thank you.
And I think Madhukar sir is there.
Madhukar sir is not here, I think, in this meeting right now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anuj sir has joined.
Sir has joined. Please give access to Anuj sir, Puneetji.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. So kindly open your camera.
Yes. I think my video is visible now.
So, yes, sir. So our next speaker, Dr. Anuj Kumar Singh is here. So welcome to the session, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Dr. Anuj Kumar Singh is Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Adani University, Ahmedabad. He holds a PhD degree in the field of computer science and engineering from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow. He passed MTech with distinction from Punjab University, Chandigarh, and BTech with honors from Uttar Pradesh Technical University, Lucknow in computer science and engineering. In addition to these, he also has qualified UGC NET. He has more than 18 years of experience in technical education, and prior to joining Adani University, he has also been associated with Amity University, Haryana, Gurugram, India for 10 years, and Sharda University, Greater Noida for 5 years. Having published more than 35 research papers in journals and conferences indexed in Scopus and SCIE, he has also authored 1 book and edited 6. He has also filed 4 international and 1 Indian patent. He has chaired and organized sessions in different conferences at international and national level and delivered expert lectures at different events. His expertise is in the area of cryptography, network and information security, blockchain technology, and algorithm design. So now I humbly invite Dr. Anuj to deliver a talk on blockchain for cybersecurity and modern computing. Over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you, ma'am, for wonderful introduction. Let me share my screen first. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, screen is visible.
Okay, so I will be speaking on the topic blockchain technology for cybersecurity in modern computing environment. As we know that blockchain technology is very much related with the cybersecurity, and whenever we are applying blockchain technology to secure any kind of system, that gives us more advantage in comparison to the existing frameworks as far as security is concerned. So as far as the roadmap of this presentation and talk is concerned, slight introduction about blockchain technology, then features of blockchain, why we are using blockchain, then how blockchain evolved and given rise to the birth of Bitcoin that we'll discuss, then working of blockchain, and then we'll move on to the cybersecurity concepts, that how we can inculcate blockchain for ensuring cybersecurity of the systems. So together, blockchain and cybersecurity can provide the basic concept of cybersecurity framework and blockchain technology, how they can provide more security to the systems. Then we'll discuss consensus algorithm, what is the logic behind them, and different consensus algorithm are existing. And then we will move on to the different applications in modern computing. So to start with, if we want to define blockchain, so I'm giving you a quick overview about the involvement of the blockchain and the features of the blockchain. So in a layman language, we can call it as a ledger. So what is a ledger? Ledger is nothing but a collection of accounts or financial transactions, just like a bank passbook, you can say. So banking example, I think it will be the most common example that we can take right now for understanding the concept of blockchain. So just like we are recording some sequence of transactions for recording some sequence of transactions, we are using a ledger. Just like a passbook, I said, like say Kim is transferring $30 to Joe and all that, the sequence of transactions are recorded in the ledger. But if we talk about the ledger, the traditional banking system ledger and the blockchain, what is the basic difference? So the 3 important properties of blockchain are listed here. One, it is immutable. Immutable means which cannot be changed. So once you are writing anything on the public or this public ledger or blockchain ledger, it cannot be modified. So whatever is recorded, it is persistent. You cannot change that. Second, it is distributed, which is not controlled by a single entity. Just like we take the example of banking system. Banking systems are controlled by a single entity. Like say in India, it is RBI, is controlling all the banking functionalities. But if we talk about the blockchain, it is not controlled by a single entity. It is decentralized in nature. So no central authority is controlling the blockchain. And the third important aspect is transparent. Transparent means everything on the blockchain will be visible to every entity in the communication or every node in the communication. So that means if we compare this blockchain fundamentals with the traditional banking system, if we take the example of bank, then our banking system are transparent systems. So I would say no. Why no? Because as far as your transactions in your accounts are concerned, that you can see, but other transactions are not visible to you. Let's take an example. For example, I am depositing 5 lakh rupees to the bank today. So what bank is doing with those 5 lakh rupees is unknown to me. I cannot identify what is being done with those 5 lakh rupees, whether bank has invested in somewhere else or bank has given some, you can say, he has lended that amount, bank has lended some amount to any other entity or party. It is totally not transparent to me. But if we talk about blockchain, what is the feature of blockchain? That every transaction is visible to every entity in the communication. That is the beauty of it. So in brief, we can define blockchain as an immutable, distributed or decentralized and transparent ledger. The question comes why we are going to use blockchain. So there are few reasons for this. Here, the screen is now listing about some drawbacks in the traditional transaction mechanism. Just like, again, I will take the example of banking system. We need third-party validation because if two parties are communicating and they are performing any transaction or any transaction is being carried out between two parties, then in case of some dispute arises, then you need a third party to resolve the dispute. So third party validation is required. Then transaction size is limited. We are having limited size of transaction, even in banking transaction or any other transaction. If we see traditional systems, there is a limit on that. We cannot exceed the transaction capacity, which is predefined. Then transaction cost is increased. Every time we are making transactions using a banking system, we are paying some additional money in terms of some service charges or commission, you can say. Even if, let's say I am transferring some amount to my friend, then some rupee or even, let's say take an example of NEFT or RTGS transfer, then some amount is being debited extra from my account. And if my friend is residing in some other country or internationally, then this will be a huge cost for the transaction. So increase transaction cost, and that means it will increase as the money increases. This is one drawback. Weak trust model. Trust model is very weak. Let's say there has been few cases where bank frauds have been done, and banking, like say old days, Harshad Mehta scam was there. So this is the trust model is weak. And the last reason is frauds and cyber attacks. A lot of frauds and cyber attacks are taking place nowadays due to the inception of internet and all technologies. So these are the reasons that we need a different kind of system to shift on. And how blockchain addresses these challenges? It first use peer-to-peer network model. That means any two parties, if they want to communicate or perform any transaction, then it can be done without using a third party. Then reducing cost. So if we take the example of blockchain, though they are charging some money, but that money is very, very negligible amount of negligible charges are there for making a transaction. Removing intermediate parties, there is no need to consider a third party or banking system, and increase trust. Why trust is increased? Because you know that if the transactions are secure, they cannot be modified. Like say, if we are ensuring all the properties of blockchain, immutable, decentralized, and distributed, so everything is transparent for everyone, and nobody can change it. So that increases the trust level. These are the four ways in which blockchain are addressing the weaknesses in the existing transaction mechanism, like banking system. Coming to the history of blockchain, how it evolved. So in 1980, the concept of electronic cash came, and even some companies implemented those, but there was some drawbacks in e-cash system in those days. The drawbacks were there was a problem of accountability and anonymity. Anonymity means protecting the user's privacy. It was disclosed, right? But if we talk about accountability, accountability has again two dimensions. One is no double spending problem, because see, if we are one way is using a traditional currency system like physical cash, and second is electronic cash. So if we are using electronic cash, that can be copied. Say for example, I am a greedy person. I am making certain copies of the digital cash, and I am spending the same copy or same cash more than once. That is known as double spending problem. And second, it should only be spent by a rightful owner, or unforgeability. That means it should not be forced by anybody, because if we are using a digital currency or digital cash, then it can be forced. So how we can protect them? How we can ensure these two properties should not take place? So these are the two concerns: accountability in the electronic cash. So let us take quickly with let us understand the concept of accountability and double spending here. Like say when we talk about the physical cash system, Bob is giving some money to Lisa to purchase some items or books. Let's say in this diagram it is shown. So in the case of physical cash, there is no problem at all. By one hand you are giving a cash, and by second hand you are taking the item. That is not a problem at all. But when it comes to digital cash or digital coin, if Bob becomes greedy, then he can create a copy of digital coin. And then what he can do, one copy he can forward it to Lisa to purchase some items, and second copy he can forward it to Alice to purchase other item. But in fact, this is, if everybody is doing the system like this, then the system will fail. That means cash will be spent more than once. So that is known as double spending problem as far as digital cash is concerned. So what is the solution for this? Solution for this is again to maintain a central authority or ledger. That means whenever Bob wants to transact, it should inform the central authority that he is going to transact with Lisa to purchase some items with a digital coin. But again, the question comes here: maintaining central authority is very, very costly. Like banking system, they are not you can say they are not working on for free. They are, for every transaction and everything, they are charging you. Even if you are going for loans, even you are depositing some amount to your bank, or using net transfers or any other kind of services you want, they are charging something. So again, maintaining banks is again a very costly affair. Like even if government agencies, they are putting a lot of cost, even their private banks are there, they are putting a lot of cost. Obviously they are making profit, but again in fact the huge money is involved in this, in maintaining central authority. So the question came then, is it possible to transfer or to solve this double spending problem without using this central authority, using digital cash? The solution was provided. Yes, the solution was given in the form of a white paper called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer digital cash system, which is nothing but a digital currency. So from this point, the evolution of blockchain happens. So in 2008, a person named Satoshi Nakamoto wrote a white paper, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, which is a Bitcoin, which solved the double spending problem with complete anonymity. So anonymity means, I told you earlier also that anonymity is nothing but hiding the user's privacy. But now can you believe that the person who evolved this kind of system, he implemented this also in the form of Bitcoin blockchain. Bitcoin is a very popular cryptocurrency today. So here you can see the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto is still unknown. Now this in the today's social media world, is it possible to hide the identity of a person who has developed such kind of a system? And around today, even also around 20 billion of amount of Bitcoin he is holding, and nobody knows. All the researchers has claimed that this is the person who is Satoshi Nakamoto, but there are no proofs at all. Nobody is able to prove that this is the person. And this is the reason that because complete anonymity is there in digital currencies, governments are reluctant to launch these or to permit the transactions using global cryptocurrencies. They are launching their own. So in the same year, 2008, the first successful implementation of blockchain was Bitcoin. So Bitcoin blockchain was invented by Satoshi Nakamoto. And here is the comparison. If we compare in 2008, the cost of one Bitcoin was $0, and now today it is 30,000, more than $30,000. This is yesterday's figure I have taken from the internet. So you can see the comparison. If I was investing around $1, maybe 800 rupees in year 2008, now it is about 30 lakhs around. This kind of difference has been there. So why it has been so popular? Because it is fulfilling the requirements of public ledger. That means the ledger is completely public. It is all the transactions are available to all the parties. It is tamper proof. That means you cannot modify it. Anonymity, complete anonymity, user's anonymity is there. You cannot, if any user is transacting, its identity is completely unknown. And size of the block, size of the transaction on the blockchain. Less it is, if we talk about blockchain database, it is taking a very less size as compared to the other banking databases, right? This was the reason of birth of blockchain. So let us quickly understand what are nodes and blockchain. If we talk about node, any party that is contributing to the blockchain network, like if it is any node is verifying the transactions or creating some blocks or verifying the blocks, it is considered to be a node of the blockchain. And the copy of entire blockchain is distributed to each and every node itself. The entire copy of blockchain will be available to all the nodes in the communication or in the transaction. Right? And that is why, because every node is having the copy of blockchain, that is why it is customary to maintain the ledger data in a synchronized fashion. That means all the copies of the data must be synchronized. So these are the important properties of the node that are implemented within the blockchain. So this is the structure of the block. In fact, if we talk about a single block, it is containing these four parameters. One is the previous hash of the block, current hash of the current block, and the date and timestamp. So if we talk, I told earlier also that if we talk about blockchain is very much related to cybersecurity concepts, and one of them is hashing, because hashing is a mechanism that is making this blockchain, you can say, immutable. That means you cannot modify the content of it. So here you can see the hash function. I will talk slightly in detail in the further slides. So hash of the previous block, data is nothing but a sequence of transactions that are happening. So what is done whenever a sequence of transactions are occurring, they are put inside a block, and that is timestamped, and the hash of the block is computed. That is working as a pointer towards the next hash. Like this one. In this diagram, you can easily understand. Let's say this is block 1. The very first block is generally known as Genesis block of the blockchain. So its hash is computed, and which is forwarded as a pointer to the next. That means this block 2 is linked with block 1 using this hash code of the previous block. Similarly, as the other. This is how the chain of blocks is maintained. So that's why the name is very, very logical. Blockchain means chain of blocks, and chaining is done using hash code. If we talk about types of blockchain, there are different types of blockchain that we can see. One is known as public blockchain, which is open to everyone. That means everyone can transact, everyone can be a user, like Bitcoin blockchain. It is a public blockchain. Now there are some certain private blockchains which are only which are only open to the specific user group. Like say, for example, any organization wants to start its blockchain, then it can implement private blockchain. Then there are some consortium blockchains which are semi-decentralized blockchains which are managed more than one organization. That means, like say, for example, a blockchain we are creating for 10,000 users, but 4 organizations are controlling that blockchain. So this is consortium blockchain. And if we talk about hybrid blockchain is inheriting the advantages of public and private blockchain to implement it. So these are the different type of blockchain depending upon the type of application or implementation you want to do. So this can be adapted. Coming to the working, if we talk about working of blockchain, we can easily understand this. Whenever let's say this is the very first node, it is requesting a transaction. So when the transaction is requested, it is broadcast to the peer-to-peer network. I told you that the blockchain is a peer-to-peer network model. So to every other node, the transaction is being broadcasted. And then that transaction is validated by the other network node. Upon the transaction is validated and verified by the other network nodes, it is put inside a particular block. That means once the transaction is verified and validated, it is then only put into a block. And when the block is again validated and verified, it becomes a part of the blockchain. And then the entire modified blockchain is distributed to the other users in the network. This is the model the blockchain is having. That means a lot of robust kind of system on the blockchain adopts. Transactions as well as blocks, both are validated and verified by the other network nodes before they are considered to be a complete part of the blockchain. Now, these were the basic concepts of blockchain. Now, let us comes to the cyber security. How cyber security is related to the blockchain? Very clearly, that is the topic of today. So, if we talk about cyber security, if we want to define it, it is nothing but the practice of protecting systems from different attacks and threats. That means protecting your networks, your programs, your devices from potential attacks and threats. So cyber security we can just consider as a layer between the attackers and devices or the systems that you are owning. So to protect from cyber threats, what you want additional layer, which is nothing but cyber security framework that you should implement. If we talk about cyber security, there are two important concerns for any kind of system. One is the security requirements. For any kind of system, as per NIST standard, there are three mandatory security requirements that must be fulfilled. Number one is confidentiality of data. Second is integrity of data, and third is availability of data, it is also known as CIA triad actually. So NIST is the body which is releasing standards periodically. That is National Institute of Standards and Technology, US-based organization it is. And it says that for any kind of system, these three properties must be satisfied. But in fact, we have seen in the practical, if we talk about practical experiences, in addition to these three properties, there are a lot more properties which must be satisfied by any kind of system. Like, so for example, if we talk about IoT, which is very common today, IoT, we need forward security, we need reliability also. So many other security attributes are also fulfilled, but NIST says that these are minimum security requirements for any kind of system. Now, this is one issue. We talk about cybersecurity. Security requirement is one issue. That means we have to implement some security mechanisms which are fulfilling the security requirements. The second issue is there is wide range of attacks and threats which are attempted on the different kinds of systems. So this is a big issue. Every every year, new attacks are coming onto the system, different kind of system, and it is wide range. Just have a glimpse on this. This is wide range of threats. There are malware, phishing, lot of classes of attack, SQL injection, DOS attack, DDoS attack, social engineering is there, DNS tunneling, man in the middle attack. So this is a very small list. In fact, the number of attacks are increasing exponentially day by day, because the reason is a lot of devices are there now, and with the evolution of IoT and IoE even, devices are going to be added every day. The devices are going to be added, and on every periodic interval, like say every year, we are having new kinds of. So cyber security basically a combination. That means we have to implement security requirements, and to maintain these security requirements, we have to defend the system against the threats and attacks, different threats and attacks. So for this, for preventing our system, we need a cyber security framework as well. So how we can do that? First is, the very first step is identify assets. That means you have to identify what kind of system you are having. what resources you want to protect. That is the number one thing. That means the system that is going to be protected, you have to identify that system. Then the second step, you have to evaluate different threats and risks that can be penetrating the system, or maybe these are nothing but the attacks and threats which can be attempted over the system. So in order to safeguard your devices, your network, your data, you have to find out, or you have to evaluate in advance what kind of threats can be there, and accordingly you have to apply your safeguards or security mechanisms. That means obviously you will be implementing some security methods, maybe encryption, decryption, authentication, many more are there, depending upon the security requirements and these threats. Then monitoring these security operations, that means once you have implemented some safeguards, so you have to continuously monitor them. In the case of any event of attack, if it happens, then it is required. Then if any incident has occurred or any attack has occurred on the system, then you have to immediately respond to the system, or system should immediately respond to those attacks. And accordingly, the modifications are made to improve the security of the system. So this is basically a cycle, in fact. This framework is nothing but a cycle. So this is a continuous process. It cannot stop. If we talk about the cybersecurity key features, in order to protect your system, some features should be implemented. So it is a complete list of cybersecurity features. One is cryptographic checksum, which is nothing but like say hash codes are there in order to preserve integrity. Then the second fundamental comes data backups, because this is a very important concept in computer science. Back up your data first. And as far as security is also concerned, first take a backup. If in the case if any modification or alteration or deletion of data takes place, so that you can have appropriate backup and then you can restore the data. Assess threats and risks. So this is in advance you have to do if you want to secure a system. You have to analyze your system according to the different threats and risks available, or you can say which are presently which are at present in the system maybe. Then take some measures to restrain vulnerabilities. Obviously you have to take the appropriate measures to stop those vulnerabilities entering into the system. Identify malicious softwares like viruses, worms, and many other can be there, malwares. Access control, limited users should be accessing the limited functionality of the system. Authentication, the appropriate users must be using, or legitimate users must be using the system. Encryption, confidential information must be transformed in a confidential way. Then implementing firewalls, then using intrusion detection systems and intrusion prevention systems. So these are the this is a list of cybersecurity features which needs to be implemented along with this framework. This feature is nothing but a list of or you can say list of functionalities according to the framework itself, which is shown here. Now let us see how these resembles with the blockchain. So if we talk about the key features of the blockchain, it is distributed ledger, immutable record. So immutable means it is very much related to integrity. So if we see the concept of cyber security, which is integrity, that means data should not be modified or altered in transit, or if it is stored. So immutable records are there. That means it is holding immutable records. So this is one feature of the blockchain that we have already discussed. Then decentralized consensus mechanisms are there. That means this is a different kind of thing. Consensus mechanism, that means if you want to take some decision, then it should not be taken by a single by a centralized party. That is decentralized decision. Smart contracts are there, which again cannot be modified once executed. Then cryptographic key pair. This is again related to public cryptography. There's a concept of, because see, blockchain, if we talk about blockchain, is using public and private key pair. So it is using public cryptography, more specifically elliptic cryptography, that I will explain in the next slides. Identity and access management should be there. Every user must be provided some identity, and accordingly access control depending upon the privileges to the user. Then enhanced security is there. So because blockchain, we have discussed that is these kind of blockchain-based systems are used to enhance the security, so that modification kind of thing should not be there in the stored data or the information. Then peer-to-peer network, it is there. Then traceability and transparency in transaction. This is very, very important. Traceability means, if, for example, if any tampering has been done, then it is immediately traceable where the tampering has been done. So it can be easily done using blockchain-based system. And transparency, we have already discussed this. Transparency means everything is visible to everyone and no central authority or third party. So many of the features you can see here, if we talk about the blockchain, are closely related to the features of cybersecurity. And that is why if you see the kind of research work is going on, blockchain is going to be implemented for enhancing the cybersecurity of specific distributed system, in fact. So if we talk about if we see the using blockchain for cybersecurity, then it can lead to protection of transmitted data. That means if we use blockchain for ensuring the security of any kind of system, we can protect the transmission of data. We can find decentralized storage of data. We can mitigate DDoS attacks and many other kinds of attacks. And we can also provide, if we talk about modern computing environment like IoT environment or IoE environment, it can provide security to that kind of environment. So these are the advantages you can see of the blockchain. If we integrate blockchain for cybersecurity, these are the advantages that we will get automatically. So specifically speaking, the advantage of using number one is, this is elaborated in terms. Number one is public key cryptography ensures confidentiality for users, because I told you that if we talk about maintaining the keys of blockchain, it is based on public key cryptography, which is more secure than other algorithms. So it ensures confidentiality for the users. Confidentiality is ensured by using PKC. And I told you also this is traceable and transparent transactions are there. So transparency are, you can trace the transactions when it occurred, and if tampering is done, when the tampering was done, and all the transactions are available to every other entity in the communication. Then immutability is the feature that means secure storage. So immutability ensures secure storage. Why? Because once the data is modified, immediately you will came to know. You can easily verify the data has been tampered or modified. So it provides a secure storage also. Then no single point failure. This is one advantage of blockchain, because we are not having any single central authority. So even if one or two node fails, that will not stop the functioning of the entire blockchain. It will continue to work. And even in the case of DDoS attacks, where distributed service attacks are there, where several malicious nodes are targeting a single legitimate node. So in that case also, the system will continue to function. So that is added advantage. Then safe data transmission, because again, we are using PKI and authenticated data transfers are there using public and private key cryptography. Public key cryptography. So we are ensuring safe data transmission because we are maintaining the keys using elliptical cryptography. So these are more secure. But if we talk about any kind of system or anything, there are two faces of the coin. Similarly, here also we are having some limitations of integrating blockchain and with cybersecurity. Number one is reliance on the private keys. That means because we are creating, if we talk about blockchain systems, we are using keys based on public key cryptography, specifically elliptic curve cryptography. And once the private key is lost, then it cannot be recovered. So that is a big issue. In that case, if you are encrypting some data, or your wallet is, say, for example, if we take the example of your wallet, if you are having a blockchain wallet or Bitcoin wallet, if your private key is lost, then nobody can access it. Even you cannot access it. So that is one issue. Then second is scalability issue is there as far as blockchain is concerned. Limited size of the block. So limited size, because we know that the size of block is limited, and adaptability. Adaptability is also an issue. Then second and third is high cost, because if we talk about maintaining the blockchain and performing operations over the blockchain, it requires high computational power and storage capabilities are needed here. So a very high cost is needed here. So that it is very costly to implement. And thing is, if we want to transform or change any distributed kind of system using blockchain, so it will take a huge cost. Then lack of government support. Obviously, no government regulations and framework is there in most of the countries, or you can say maximum number of countries in the world. So that is why it is lacking. And that's why you will see that the speed the blockchain has taken in the starting, it has slowed down because of lack of support by the governments. Then blockchain literacy is one issue. Enough blockchain developers are not available. So these are the 5 limitations that are restricting the growth of the blockchain, as I said. So if we talk about I told you that a lot of cryptographic concepts and cybersecurity is related to this blockchain. So quickly I will cover this. So one thing that we've discussed is that blocks are chained using hashes. So what is hashing? Hashing is nothing but it converts the arbitrary length data to a fixed length hash code. That means hashing is an algorithm that is being applied to the input data, which is converting any size of data into a fixed length hash value. Like say if you are providing even few bits of input or few GBs of file you are inputting to a hash function, the output will be a fixed length hash code. Let's take an example like if we talk about blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, it is using SHA-256 algorithm. So if you provide any size of data, that will be providing you only 256-bit hash code. Whether it doesn't, the size of the input data doesn't matter, whether it is 1 bit or it can be 1 GB or 1 terabyte. The output of this will be 256-bit. And the very important property here is it is a one-way function. Hashing is a one-way function. That means using this message, you can retrieve hash code, but given the hash code, you cannot find out the original message. That is a one-way function. There are many other properties which are listed here. Variable size input that I told, fixed size output, efficiency. That means efficiency means making hardware and software implementation practical. One-way property. And weak and strong collision resistance. I quickly can say that no two different messages can be having same hash code. So the logic is, even if you are changing 1 bit in the input data, then many bits of the hash code are going to be changed. That means for unique message, there should be unique hash code. So that is why it is. That is why you will see that blockchain implementation, these are using hash code. This is very, very important property for the blockchain itself. Because without this kind of function, chaining blockchain was not possible. The second concept comes the keys. If we talk about blockchain, the keys are maintained using public key cryptography. So in public key cryptography, there are 2 keys. One is private key, one is public key. Private key is kept private with the user, while the public key is available to all the parties in the communication. And any of the key can be used for encryption, and the corresponding key will be used for decryption. So this is public key cryptography we are using in blockchain, but exactly we are using in blockchain, we are using elliptic curve cryptography. That means to generate the public and private keys, we are using elliptic curve cryptography. So quickly, I will tell you how it is done. Just take this equation, simple equation, Q is equal to KP. So where K is nothing but a random number or random integer. It's generally a use size random number there, maybe 256 bit or 512 bits. So a large random number is there, which is small k, which becomes a private key of the user. And Q and P, these are nothing, this capital Q and capital P, these are nothing but the points on elliptic curve. So, and where P is already defined, and you will see that both Q and P, which I am saying, these public key values, these are public key values which are points on elliptic curve, are available to all. Because see, whenever you are generating the private key, it is to be kept private with the user. But if you're generating the public key, then it is to be shared with all the parties in the communication. So, and P is nothing but the base point on the curve, which is also known as curve generator. So this capital P and Q are available to all. And the beauty of this is, given the value of capital Q and P, it is computationally infeasible to find out the private key. That is why it is secure. And the logic behind this is the problem known as elliptic curve discrete logarithmic problem. So this is ECDLP problem, in fact. That means finding the value of k given Q and P, which is computationally infeasible. And that is why the logic behind is even if you know the public key and the base point on the curve and other global parameters are already given to you, you cannot deduce the private key. So if anybody of you have seen the or maintained the wallet of any blockchain, maybe Ethereum or maybe Bitcoin, then you have seen that two keys are provided to you. One is a private key, one is public key. So public key is available to all, and private key is kept with you. So that private key is nothing but a huge random number. That's it. Simple random number is there. So this is the logic behind the keys. Coming to the concept of mining, which we'll discuss about now, consensus algorithm also there. So what is mining in fact? So if we talk about defining it, it is simply creating a new block is mining. So in one line, we can simply define it in few words, 3 words only, creating a new block. But if we talk about creating this new block, it's not that easy. So how a block is creating, I have shown you the structure earlier also. Here, the same as I am repeating here. Hash of the previous block, hash of this block, hash function now we know, and we are having certain data. What is data? Data is nothing but the sequence of transactions along with the timestamp. Timestamp means when the transactions occurred already. So the sequence of data and timestamp is there. Like say here, so this becomes data. Any transactions have occurred, we are putting all the sequence of transaction into a one block. But before putting into the block, what we are doing, we are finding the hash code of this or the contents of the block, in fact, or which is nothing but a sequence of transactions. So this hash code along with the timestamp is stored here. This is forming the user structure. So now the thing is how we are going to mine this block. That means how the transactions, okay, we are capturing the transactions, it is okay. How we can put them into a block, that is a big concern. That means how we can mine the block, and mining is not that easy task. For that, you have to prove something. So I am taking example now Bitcoin blockchain, which is considering a proof of work as a power to mine a particular block. So what is proof of work? In fact, if we see the definition of blockchain, blockchain is nothing but a list of or sequence of blockchain using hash function. So if we want to add a new block, so if we want to mine a block means a new block should be created and added to the blockchain. Now, say for example, I am an intruder or attacker. I want to create a fake block and want to add this to the blockchain. How it is possible? It is in fact not feasible at all. Why it is not feasible? Because whenever the block is added to the blockchain, it should be checked whether it is legitimate by the system. It is a legitimate block. That means the block is not fake block. It is having correct transactions. It is having correct data inside it. So it is not like that any user of the blockchain or public blockchain like Bitcoin can create a block and add it to the blockchain. No, it is not possible at all, because you need to prove something. You need to prove that your block you are putting with this blockchain is legitimate, having correct transactions and having correct data. But how we can do that? Now, the reason is that I will explain the next slide. The reason is without correct data and transaction, the blockchain will become fake. Because if anybody or any attacker, it is possible to create a fake block and add to the system, that will decrease the trust level of the user, and definitely nobody is going to use the blockchain, right? So this is the reason that whenever we are going to add some blocks or data, it should be properly validated. And how it can be done, how we can ensure that the block we are adding to the blockchain is legitimate, having correct transaction data, because we are mining the block according to the algorithm known as proof of work, POW. Now, what is POW? POW means, that means, for example, you are going to verify transactions and you are going to mine a particular block. Now, whatever work you have done, now see, verifying a transaction, creating a block is not that easy. You need a lot of computation power for it. Lot of computation resources you have to equip. You have to spend a lot of money over that. Then only you can do this thing. or you can prove that, okay, you have done so much work. And for that also, what you have to do, you have to solve a cryptographic puzzle. And not manually, obviously using your computer systems. So this is just an example that I am taking. That what happens in proof of work, that network server throws a cryptographic puzzle in front of the potential miners. In this diagram, you can consider, let's say, x1, x2, x3 are potential miners, and network server is throwing a puzzle to you in front of you, which you have to solve. So this puzzle is a cryptographic puzzle. I will take the example also here. One example I can tell you. Like, so for example, cryptographic puzzle can be, you have to generate a 256-bit hash code with second last bit and the third last bit a 0 in that. So if you are able to produce that hash code using the genuine data, then you have solved the cryptographic problem. Now, once you solve this problem, let's say here we are taking the example X2, the user X2 has solved this cryptographic puzzle correctly, and other two were failing. X1 and X3 were failing to do that. So X2 will become the successful miner, and once he has mined some block, he will be rewarded also. So in Bitcoin blockchain, transactions are not charged actually. Basically, you can say very less charges there, but a lot of money you can make by mining the blocks. And it is not that if we talk about the 2008 year when the blockchain incepted, then the time taken to mine the block was average time was 10 minutes. Now it has become, I think, few hours, 4 to 6 hours. I think the time is there that every block is mined. So that means what we are doing, we are going to make this process slow. So as the time will pass, it will be slower. That means the time creation between the two subsequent blocks will be increased day by day. How we can ensure? What is the use of POW actually? How it secures the blockchain? How it ensures that the blockchain becomes secure or the block that we have mined is not fake? The reason is here. First, it requires a huge amount of computational power that everybody cannot deploy. Everybody cannot purchase high-end computer system like mainframe systems or maybe servers also. Then, second thing is remining with fake data is computationally infeasible. Why this statement is written here? Because let's say, for example, there are 10 blocks or 10,000 blocks, let's say, and you are tampering with the very first block. Then the hash code of all the 9,919 subsequent blocks will be changed. So once you are making a change anywhere else, it is computationally infeasible to change every subsequent block. And that is why if you want to do it, it is computationally infeasible. That is why it has been said that to remine an existing block, an attacker have to remine and recreate every single block that comes after the recreated block. That means you cannot create a fake block, in fact, in the blockchain. And that is the reason that POW is taking care of, that whenever a block is being added, then it should not be fake block. It should be a genuine block. So this is actually a consensus algorithm basically. Consensus algorithm means, let's say, for example, 10,000 nodes are there, then a decision has to be taken that, okay, this block is a legitimate block or no. So the decision has to be taken by using POW algorithm. So POW is a consensus algorithm here that we are using to decide whether a block is genuine block or it is a fake block. That means a decision has to be taken by the system. Now, other algorithms also exist here. So this is the reason that why blockchain is technology is so secure. Now, there are many other consensus algorithms as well. We are having proof of stake. Proof of work we have already discussed. Proof of stake is there. Their user is encouraged to spend more and more. That means you have to invest huge amount of money in the blockchain to become a validator, to become a legal or legitimate validator of the blockchain. Now, if we talk about proof of stake, proof of delegate stake, delegate proof of stake, DPoS, that means it is same as proof of stake, but users with more coins will be selected to vote. That means if you are having a more stake in the blockchain or more investment you are having in the blockchain, then you becomes more powerful. We are having simplified Byzantine fault tolerance mechanism, SBFT, where a single validator can bundle a proposed transaction and create a new block. So only one person can mine the block. So that is simplified Byzantine fault tolerance algorithm. Then we are having delegated Byzantine fault tolerance algorithm, BDFT, which focuses on a game basically, which is based on Byzantine journals problem actually, where many journals are there. They have to decide whether a city to be attacked or not. That is a very famous problem in computer science and distributed systems. So many algorithms exist, and depending upon the what kind of system you want to implement, you can choose any of these consensus algorithms to reach on the consensus or to make a decision in the distributed system. So if we talk about the evaluation of criteria of this algorithm, there are 4 parameters. One is algorithmic output, algorithmic throughput. In terms of transactions per second, it can support. In terms of block creation, it can support. In terms of verification time, how much time it will take to verify, and the size of the block. Then profitability of mining. That means how mining reward can be provided to the potential miners. Then power consumption, transaction fees, and special hardware dependency. The degree of decentralization is there. That means how much the blockchain is decentralized. It is fully decentralized, like say public blockchains are there. Then we are having consortium blockchains are there, where we are having limited decentralization, and the trust model. And last parameter is security and vulnerability issues in the algorithm that we are implementing. Like it is protecting double spending problem. It is protecting 51% attack. 51% attack is a very common attack in blockchain because if a person who is having or a node is having more than 51% the stake of the blockchain, then he becomes a potential decider. One person can only decide. So that is 51% attack and civil attack also. So these are different algorithms that, the different evaluation parameters for consensus algorithms that we need to consider before applying these. Now coming to the last section of this talk, that is applications in modern computing. So I will discuss only 5 applications, though you can apply blockchain in any kind of distributed system, or any kind of distributed system can be replaced using a blockchain. But the hot topics I'm discussing, like cryptocurrencies, are on top, because we have seen it was blockchain has evolved using the cryptocurrency. So there are a lot of cryptocurrencies which are evolved till date. Bitcoin is there, Ripple is there, Monero is there, US, Ethereum, Litecoin, Libra, Tether. So these are few, only 8 I have selected, but you will find out more than 50 cryptocurrencies are existing. And even now, government organizations are also planning to launch their cryptocurrencies and digital coins. Healthcare is a very important sector where blockchain can be easily applied. Like, so for example, I have taken the example of a body area network, wireless body area network, where a patient is there, and many implantable and wearable devices are used here to capture the patient data or patient medical data, in fact. Then it is transferred over the internet. Now, you can see that there are a lot of stakeholders which are interested in the health data of the patient. They may be hospital, that can be even the doctor also, or the consultant of the patient, then government organization also, then the node D, that is maybe ambulance, maybe insurance company. So all these stakeholders or who are interested in this data are connected to a blockchain. So, and why it is important now? How now if we talk about the security feature, security perspective is there, that if any tampering is done at any of the stage or any of the copies here, then immediately it can be verified. Otherwise, if we talk about IoT based systems, they are having a lot of threats. In fact, even let's say, for example, doctor is prescribing some medication online, and if somebody is tampering with that medication in between, and if it is reaching to the family member or to the patient, then it can be life dangerous also, or it can be highly threatful. So in that case, it is very, very secure for healthcare system. Another example we can take of the supply chain. So supply chain, we know that there are raw material providers, there are manufacturers, distribution units are there, wholesalers are there, retailers are there, and finally consumers. So in between, you can say many of the entities can be integrated with the blockchain network. So this is another area where we can apply blockchain in today's computing era. So supply chain is one sector. Then comes energy sector, where we can also apply the blockchain. Same because we are having power grid, which is distributing power to different cities, or retail power utilities, which is again having sub distribution system to provide electricity to the consumers. So again, they can be integrated with the blockchain. In that case, no forgery can be done in terms of meter readings and all that. So once the data is maintained, synchronized, or you can say maintained and synchronized at different places or in a decentralized manner, with the in terms of security also, it is very important. So this is another example. And last example I want to take is the real estate. Earlier, if we talk about earlier days, whenever a buyer and seller was transacting, then he was looking down for lawyers, broker, insurance companies, and all that. So he has to meet a lawyer also for making a deed, and broker also, or you can say real estate agents also. And these are all are charging some amount of cost. Now with the new kind of system that is emerging, if two parties want to interact using or you can say in real estate, if they want to make some agreement that Bob wants to sell his property to Alice, then that can be done using smart contract. And smart contracts are nothing but this is a sequence of code which is having all the conditions in that. And once that is executed and based on blockchain, once it is executed, it cannot be tampered. Like, so for example, in old days, we have seen that somebody is writing a will, or somebody's grandfather is writing a will, and somebody, some other sibling may be tampering with the will. But in this case, it is not possible. So that is very advantageous here to use the blockchain. We have also seen that many universities, even in academics, are also distributing blockchain-based degrees. That is again to protect tampering, because in India and globally, we have seen the cases where the degrees even are tampered and used for different kind of purposes. So to avoid that, then again, a lot of universities are now implementing blockchain-based degrees. So these are the realistic examples that we can consider in modern computing to ensure more security using blockchain technology. So if anybody is interested in the blockchain, then one area is building the blockchain itself. That can be done using Node.js and any one of these two, either JavaScript or Python. So you can use either JavaScript with Node.js to build a blockchain itself, and Python along with Node.js to build a complete blockchain. The second area is to work with smart contracts using Solidity programming. This is again a development area which is having a high number of jobs available in the market today and in the futuristic situations also. And third potential development platform is Hyperledger, which is a Linux-based open source framework for blockchain development. So any of these areas, these are three areas in which a lot of manpower is required in the industry as well as in academics also. So these are a potential area for growth for blockchain development. So this is the summary of my presentation. We have seen that blockchain, the properties, it is immutable and distributed ledger. Bitcoin was the first implementation of the blockchain, and security of blockchain is based on the hash codes as well as public cryptography, like ellipticals. Mining and POW leads to reward, and different consensus algorithms have been used by different kind of blockchains. Many cryptocurrencies have already evolved, and we are having now a wide range of applications of blockchain model computing for increased security. So this is from my side. Thanks.
Thank
And any
you.
queries are there, please.
Yes, thank you, Anup sir. So there are a few questions in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
The first question is, what is computational facility requirement for applying blockchain in IoT devices?
Yes, actually, if we talk about IoT devices, if the question is, I think, incomplete. IoT, I think I have it in network. IoT devices, or see, there are two things where there are three kind of layers are there. One is end user, one is fog, and one is cloud. So at fog and cloud, it is very easy to put on GPUs and any other kind of high computational facilities. But at IoT, we know that these are tiny devices, so it is very difficult to have a high computational power. But yes, we at the end user we cannot do. But yes, at the fog and edge fog level and the cloud level. We can definitely use high-end computer systems like mainframe systems or even GPUs also that we can use.
Okay, so
Am I audible?
believe, sir, you got the reply.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Dr. Shweta, here is more question in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am. Please, please.
So, Dr. Priyanka is asking, what is the difference between Bitcoin blockchain and Ethereum blockchain, sir?
Actually, it depends upon the implementation. Like say, if we talk about blockchain, it is using a different kind of consensus algorithm. It is using POW, proof of work. While if we talk about Ethereum blockchain, it is using proof of stake. So proof of stake is a different kind of mechanism where we have to invest, or you can say the more investment will be from the one entity or one node, more powerful it becomes. Where if we talk about blockchain is completely depending upon the proof of work concept, where you have to prove your skills and you can say the amount of work you have done or amount of computational resources you have applied. That is the difference.
Thank you, sir. I hope Dr. Priyanka has got her answer. So here is one more question, sir, from Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, and he is asking, how can we reduce the energy consumption on blockchain networks?
Blockchain networks, if we talk about, I told that if we talk about end user, then end users are not bothered about it. If we implement at higher levels, then obviously we need high computational resources. And if we talk about decreasing the computational power, there is, it depends. Like, so for example, if we use hybrid kind of blockchains, that is one solution it can be. Like instead of using only public blockchain, we can have a combination of public and private blockchain in implementation that will help in reducing the computational power.
Thank you, sir. I hope Sanjeev Kumar has gained the knowledge and get the answer. So Sarita is asking, can you explain the implementation of multi-signature transactions in blockchain?
Multi-signature.
Yes.
Actually, it depends upon that. If we talk about blockchain, if more than one users are signing, then definitely it can be done. But in that case, it will be a sequence of transactions that you have to put on. Like, so for example, one node is signing, then another node is signing. In that case, it can be done.
Okay, so it
Because
can be in multiple
parallel,
ways.
Yes, no, multiple, you can say multiple stages will be there for signing. Let's say for example, 3 nodes are going to sign, then one node will sign, then other will sign, and third will sign.
Correct. I hope Sarita has got the answer. So I'm not getting any more queries here in the chat box. I have one query, sir. Sir, you talked about cryptographic hash function, and currently SHA 256
Yes, ma'am.
is being used. Sir, what about SHA 512 or the other number of, enhanced version of SHA? Can we use it in blockchain?
Yes, ma'am. SHA 512 actually, we talk about Bitcoin blockchain, it uses SHA 256, and as per NIST standards also, SHA 256 algorithm is still computationally secure. But if you want to upgrade the system, let's say you want to create your own blockchain, then definitely you can use SHA 512 also.
There must be some limitations with both the versions, SHA 256 and 5.
No, limitations is not there. Only the computational power will increase and it will become slightly slower. That's it.
Okay. And you had already talked about many algorithms which can be used in this area. You have also talked about so many, open to work space area in the blockchain technology. Majorly, you have divided these three parts: building blockchain, smart contract, and hyperledger. I think it is beneficial for the students and all others. Thank you so much, sir. Over to Shweta, ma'am.
So thank you so much, sir, for this excellent deliberation on blockchain and its application in modern computing. And you highlighted the importance of trust issues and how blockchains work for it. So I'm sure the information imparted by you on cybersecurity in blockchain will be helpful to our participants. And my sincere gratitude for sharing your expertise with us. Thank you, sir.
Right, thank you, ma'am, and thank you to the organizers and Amity University Haryana for giving me this opportunity to share my experience here and talking to all of you. Thanks a
You
lot to
are
all of
always
you.
welcome, sir.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
you
so
so
much,
much.
Dr. Anuj.
Thank you. Ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Dear participants, we now proceed for lunch break and meet here back at 2 p.m. Our next speaker will be Dr. Amit Tyagi from NIFT New Delhi to talk about recent trends in blockchain. The session will be open by, so you can join back at 1:50.
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. Hello,
Good
sir.
afternoon, ma'am.
Hello, madam. How are you, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I'm good, sir. So I'll be here to just see about what new I can learn from your area because our area is different. So I just hope to learn a lot from your talk.
I can understand that, madam. Whenever I have signed a paper with you of the blockchain paper, and you told sir this is totally new to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly.
Thank you for joining, ma'am.
Thank you for inviting, ma'am. Actually, sir has told me that today is his talk, so I just forget now. So thank you for reminding me.
Shall we start, madam? Khushbu ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Shweta, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
Yeah, good. Ma'am, you can start your camera.
Yes. I think that. Yeah, I think, yeah, I thought I'm not allowed for that, but yes, it is working.
Okay. So you are expert in blockchain also.
No, I have just started working with sir.
Okay.
So my area basically is recommendation, information retrieval, and AI. And I'm just started learning with the Amit sir. So I hope I'll gather some more information from his talk.
Okay, I thought from yesterday to today you have shifted your field from recommendation engine to this one.
No, ma'am. Just let's see. I hope in near future, definitely I'll be collaborating with sir in many more projects.
Madam Richa ma'am, tell the title the which you have accepted in ACM conference. Digital twin. Totally different again.
Okay,
So we are everywhere.
so good to know that.
We'll explore many more areas, surely.
Yeah, sure. And we will be waiting for the collaborations, Richa ma'am.
Definitely. Amit sir, Shweta ma'am has done her PhD from BIT Mesra only.
Super. Very good.
There's one very senior professor, Dr. Aruna Jan. She is now director in Devghar campus. So, ma'am is Shweta ma'am's supervisor.
So sir is also associated with BIT Mesra?
No, sir, we are into collaboration.
Okay.
We had the same base of VIT Chennai. So from there, we actually know each other.
Okay, good. So this is the way how network grows.
Definitely, ma'am.
So I'll
Hopefully,
start
we'll
the
collaborate
session.
soon.
Yeah, we look forward for that.
Definitely, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll start the session formally.
Yeah.
Okay. So a very good afternoon to one and all present here. Welcome to the post-lunch session of day 4. And we are extremely privileged to have amongst us our guest, Dr. Amit Kumar Tyagi from National Institute of Fashion Technology, Delhi, and also Richa Singh from BIT Mesra. Now, dear participants, I hope you all are thoroughly enjoying the sessions and believe that you will certainly try to put the concepts learned here into practice. So to further enhance our learning, we move forward to delve into the recent trends in blockchain. To begin with the proceedings, I would like to introduce our speaker. Dr. Amit Kumar Tyagi is working as assistant professor at National Institute of Fashion Technology, New Delhi. Prior to NIFT, Dr. Tyagi has served as assistant professor and senior researcher at Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai campus. He received his PhD degree from Pondicherry Central University. Dr. Tyagi has supervised more than 10 master's dissertations and one PhD thesis. He has contributed to several projects such as RE and P3 block to address some of the open issues related to the privacy breaches in vehicular applications. He has published over 100 papers in refereed high-impact journals, conferences, and books. Dr. Tyagi has filed more than 20 patents nationally and internationally in the area of deep learning, Internet of Things, cyber physical systems, and computer vision. He has edited more than 20 books for renowned publishers. His current research focuses on next generation machine-based communications, blockchain technology, smart and secure computing, and privacy. So now I invite Dr. Amit Tyagi to deliver his remarks on recent trends in blockchain. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a wonderful introduction. Really, I do not know about myself also that I have done this much things. Really, thank you so much. About my progress, about my introduction, that is just only a number. Coming to my presentation, so today I will introduce about my topic, which is recent trends in blockchain technology. Before explaining this topic, I will go in recap. I will tell that what is the necessity of blockchain, how it came into the existence, what are the myths are there, and how it is changing the entire industry and other domains also. So whenever I am taking one example, suppose for example, I'm taking bank. So whenever we are going to bank and whenever we want to send some money from bank A to bank B, so in this case, we have to pay some extra charges, which called as service tax. In this case, that may be depend on the amount, how much amount we are transferring. Nowadays, government have pulled it off whenever we are going for the NIFT. NIFT is purely free of cost. IMPS, there are few charges. But whenever we are going back before 10 years ago or 20 years ago, we were facing many issues in the banking industry, like the intermediary, the third party, they are charging a lot of money. And during this, they may have the information of the customer from the both side. It means there may be a chance of the breaching of trust and I can say in the breaching of trust or the leaking of privacy of the customer also. Like I can say something in some other way. Suppose if I am filling one application form for admission, automatically I will get a call from some other institute. Sir, are you interested in some other admission or something? How they are getting my number, which I have not shared with any other one. So it means the coaching center or maybe those people share. The same thing here. Bank officials also share the same information with the third party or with the some other party, which is again become a leaking of privacy here. And the last one and the most one is nothing but kind of fraud. Whenever we have your basic account number, we may get the more details about you, your salary, your your personal details and habits. So the fraud were many. Then blockchain come into picture in 2008. So this will be my content. And you can see whatever the structure I have explained, the customer and the bank employee, and between the bank, I have here RBI. So how the working of the bank is being done, it is taking some time to transfer some amount of money from one place to another. Then fraud are being done. Then after 2014, before 2014 also Aadhaar was there, but not that much in big progress. After 2014, it has been becoming more progress and has been linked by your phone, your Aadhaar with your account, your PAN, your everywhere. It's like it's become a proof of identity now. But always Aadhaar is not a proof of identity, it is a proof of address. So like I'm showing you here what is a blockchain is nothing but why it came into picture to stop the fraud. But the concept here is most important, how it has been used to stop the fraud here. So it is nothing but a concept or a technology which is providing the transaction to be gathered into block and being recorded of each blocks one by one. In this, each block is cryptographically chained in some order. It allows the resulting ledger to be accessed by the different server. It is nothing but, in some other way I can say, the distributed ledger, removing the problem of internet in the sense, like I can say that internet is nothing but a network where we share our information among peers or among the receivers or among others. So like we can see in the previous days, whenever we are taking some money from someone else, or so what they are doing, they are putting one register, they are putting dates. The next day, suppose I have one work in one hospital and I went there, sir, I want a birth certificate of this date. Then he has checked, okay, which year, which month. Then he has gone to this particular register, okay, verified. So like this. But what happens if this particular information, the particular record of the information historically can be used in a computerized way and can be secured in a form of blocks, and that blocks can be kept as a chain or in a form of chain, and that may be either a public or either private or a hybrid, whatever it is. So it is nothing but, again, so it's just a concept which has been used to remove the historical records or to substitute those things into the form of in a computerized way or in a linking way or in a more secure way. So it is nothing but open and distributed ledger that can record transaction between two parties efficiently and in a verifiable manner or permanent way, which cannot be erased anytime. Open है, it is distributed ledger. Anyone can verify, whoever is a part of the network, peer-to-peer also. A concept is given by the Satoshi Nakamoto. It is in 2008. Paper has been published in 2009. A paper is nothing but a peer-to-peer transition system for Bitcoin. It's a highly cited paper of the blockchain, and you will not believe my words here, and you will not be surprised, because that paper was not it was not accepted in any journal. It was accepted as a free of cost, just as a over internet. It's a highly cited paper. So distributed ledger is nothing but centralized. If we are going to check here, centralized nothing but whenever there is one person is controlling each and every one. And whenever I am talking about decentralized, it's nothing but a part of centralized, where are few peoples are behaving like a centralized person, intermediary maintained. But again, a problem of intermediary here. In centralized also, one person intermediary is controlling each and every one. But in case of distributed ledger, no one is an intermediary here. Everyone is connected through everyone. Or I can say here, everyone is a part of the network. All parties can hold the same record of every transactions. So it is nothing but transparent. Everything is transparent here, whatever is happening in the network. So importance, whenever I'm coming to the importance is nothing but gaining popularity and getting worldwide acceptance because of this use in cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. And again, a surprising fact of Bitcoin in 2011 was 50 rupees, one Bitcoin, and today it is 38 lakh rupees per Bitcoin. So you have seen that major improvement. So if you have invested some money at that time in Bitcoin, then you maybe are the most of the research, more of the research person. Okay. Then there are the few other places where blockchain are being used apart from the cryptocurrency, which is nothing but used or created for the financial purpose, but definitely or in some other ways being used in some other application like non-finance, which is nothing but called agriculture, transportations, healthcare, military, and wearable devices and so on. So whenever I'm coming to the type of the blockchain, so there are actually two types, but one more is also there, hybrid, wherever the combinations of public and private comes into picture. So whenever I am showing you about the public blockchain, it's nothing but anyone can access in terms of access level, but in private it become, I no need to explain all these things because you already know the meaning of private and the public. Public means applicable for all. Private means being used for the individual organization. In case of here, I will suggest to you one thing. If someone will ask you, okay, which one is more secure, public or private? So the number of the users in the private will be lesser. And whenever the number of the users are lesser, the chance of the security of leaking is very, very high. Whenever I am saying the public, so public are public to all. So there are the number of the users are very high. The chance of guessing also very, very high. Or I can say in some other way, the security will, or chance of the guessing will be very, very low in terms of guessing the password or something. No one can guess, okay, what is the message or what type of the content inside this block. And whenever I'm coming to the structure of the block, I will share in the next slides how the structure is. Then we will get to know that whenever we touch any block, we need to touch the further and the previous block also. So in this case, we need to block the entire chain. So this is nothing but public blockchain is more secure than the private blockchain. And again, more surprising fact, not a single case of attack has been found out over public blockchain. Whatever the cases are there, always only with the private blockchain. Whenever I am saying again the types in the case of, that is why I have written in a different way, consortium or hybrid I can write. So you can see that in case of public, it can be the permission based, anonymous, could be the malicious in the private. But here in the public, but the problem in case of public, you can see here that anonymous can be, the users can be anyone, or the identity can be hidden, but that users also can be malicious. But in case of private, industry knows that who is my user or who is my employee they are using, so they are identified and trusted and so on. So again, for their approval time, how much time they take, 10 minutes. In case of Bitcoin, it take 10 minutes per, okay, 10 minutes per block. Coming to the timeline, you can see from the 2007, it started with Satoshi Nakamoto is an unknown and hidden person. Till now, we did not get who is this person. Many people has claimed that they are the actual Satoshi, but no one has given the proof, the sufficient proof. Okay, they are the actual Satoshi Nakamoto. And coming to this, after 2008, it has been, or after 2012, it has been expanded into Ethereum, Litecoin, in some other cryptocurrency. Later on in non-finance applications like agriculture, healthcare, and today we can get many papers on healthcare, agriculture. Most of the 90% paper we will get blockchain-based healthcare system to preserve the privacy or to preserve the security or to build the trust and something else. Same cheese in agriculture, the data is being collected by IoT, and that IoT, the data is being stored in form of blocks, and that is nothing but being stored in form of a chain, and that is nothing but being secured. So coming to the blockchain evolution is nothing but actually started with 1.0, nothing but called as a cryptocurrency, as a currency part, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and so on. There are more than 20 cryptocurrency are being in trend today, but only 2 are more popular now, or 3 I can say here, because of the Elon Musk, because he also has invested some money in a Dogecoin. So Dogecoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, and Bitcoin is obvious. Then smart contracts 2.0 is a new implementation of the blockchain. Then decentralized application, and the 4.0 is nothing but blockchain usable in industry 4.0. That also I will discuss later, whatever it is industry 4.0 and in industry 5.0. So whenever I am saying that decentralized application is nothing but we are making the decentralized internet, decentralized application, decentralized economy, everything wherever the intermediary involved, we are removing them and we are putting the authority towards blockchain. So characteristics cannot be corrupted. As I have already told, whenever the public blockchain is being used, number of the users are very high, the guess will be in terms of guessing the password will be very, very low, but that you can make the chances very, very larger there, but the chances will be very, very low. Decentralized technology, again, no intermediary will be there. Enhanced security because of the decentralized nature and the proof of work, most important work, proof of work, proof of stake, and so on. This is nothing but whole consensus mechanism. So consensus is nothing but a dynamic way to reaching towards one agreement in a group. A party also, which is nothing but way of two. A party, whenever I am saying, it is nothing but between two people or more than two. Whenever I am saying one person, that is not a party, that is nothing but a single user. Then irreversible, once the transaction has been done, cannot be reversed again, because it is using the concept of linked list here. Most of the people are here belonging from computer science. If they are not, then I'm telling them there is a linked list. Linked list nature is nothing but whenever we store any data into a linked list, it contains the address for the next node and the address of the previous node. Then we kept this. Same thing for the next node, same thing for the next node, and again, and so on. And the last node is connected to the first one, that becomes a circular linked list. So here the first block, in case of blockchain, will called as a genesis block. It is nothing but child block. People called as a genesis block. It is nothing but there is no previous information. But whoever will be the second block here, now in this case, it will contain the address of the first block and the address of the second block. Then the third block, again containing the address of the second block and the address of the fourth block. Same thing again, fourth block will contain the address of, and so on. And the last one will contain the address of genesis. So here you think as an imagination, if a blockchain containing the 1,000 blocks, we do not know which block we are attacking. Either it can be the number 2, either it can be the 999, or either it can be the 500 something. It is a guessing here. So whenever, suppose if I'm taking a randomly here 500 something, so I need the address of -1 and +. Then again, to temper this, again I need the address of -1 and the +1. So in this case, I am interrupting or I am tempering entire blocks or entire chain, which is not possible, because alternatively I am searching for the starting block, which is quite impossible to attack or temper entire blocks inside a blockchain. So that is why they have given here a one concept called 51% nodes we capture intent to our favor, which is clearly impossible. So it is like that whenever there are 100 people, and if 100 people, if we take 51% in our side, so then there is a chance that we may put one attack there, which one called 51% attack. If you will search over the Google, that will take that how blockchain is verifying the blocks whenever they are being added. There are called miners. So whenever anyone is creating a transaction, that information is being stored into the and being explored towards all the people into peers. Then these miners will verify all the record. That is nothing but in a mathematical way will solve some puzzles that can be either easy, medium, and complex. That is why nowadays people require more computing powers, and they need to run all the time to solve those complex problems. In terms of reward, whenever they verify something, then with respect to the reward, they get some part of Bitcoin, or I can say some amount of a Bitcoin. In point nowadays, before 2014, it was 2 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, something like this. But now the number of the Bitcoins are fixed. So that is why the number of the Bitcoin the producing are getting lesser and lesser and lesser. And the last year will be 2100 something, whenever all the Bitcoin will get over. Algorithm has been designed in this paper in such a way that you cannot produce more than that Bitcoin. Either you can sell, either you can buy. That's it after that. So that is why, again, 51%, if you are taking in your favor, then you have a chance of doing 51% attack. But it is chance, not completely. Consensus, core of the blockchain architecture and the faster settlement. If we are going again, so as already I have explained, blockchain initially has been invested or has been invented for financial applications, like for banking, like I have shared a story in the starting, to removing the intermediary and to reduce the fraud, because most of the fraud are being done in insurance fraud, healthcare fraud, and so on. And cryptocurrency, in developing our new cryptocurrencies, like Ethereum is based on blockchain only, Litecoin was based on blockchain, Dogecoin is also, and there is one word is also called as a Ripple. Ripple is also a platform blockchain based, and one is also called Hyperledger. That is nothing but these are the few infrastructures are being given to us to use the blockchain based platform to share our data or our services, or to use the services of the respective architectures. And the legal contract in industries, whenever they settle some amount of money in terms of legal contract, that is nothing but comes in finance. Non-finance, as I have discussed, agriculture, biomedical, healthcare, transportation, and so on. Applications, in terms of applications, I was surprised whenever I was starting working in 2019 in terms of blockchain. So there was only very few. But today, whenever myself and Richa ma'am has written one paper, we have got more than 36 applications, from asset management to insurance to payment to smart appliance, smart home, smart environment, or smart kitchen. Everywhere, wherever the communication is being done. Again, I am repeating, wherever the communication is being done, either through the IoT or in any way, either through internet or some other way, we can create blockchain there, either as a smart contract or something else, or like supply chain sensors, blockchain healthcare, blockchain music, blockchain based government scheme. Nowadays they have digital locker, so it is nothing but, or they may, digital locker is nothing but kind of, we can say the blockchain based, but it is not a blockchain based. But if we can suggest like blockchain based Aadhaar, or myself and Richa ma'am has filed one patent on blockchain based Aadhaar based, blockchain and Aadhaar based electronic voting system. So it can be like as a government scheme. So public value and the vested responsibility and so on. Blockchain identity we can create, which cannot be tampered by peoples. Like nowadays we can generate the fake Aadhaar also, just make a color copy and we can make it whatever we want, because the people who are looking to that Aadhaar is not checking into the system, they are just looking it. Passports, we can secure the passport, more passport, and birth, wedding, and the death certificate, and further for personal identifications. In terms of asset management, if we can see, so trade processing and settlements is nothing but, we can see here, we can use the first one, the traditional trade process within the asset management, where the parties make mutual understanding between each other, wherever the communication is being done, then that information can be stored in their blocks, and that can be encrypted and can be stored in form of blocks and can be kept as a blocks. But again, the problem here is why some other person should believe on this, or like if I will say here one thing here, blockchain based government scheme, why people or the citizens of any country will believe on any country. Okay, how much secure is this? How they will trust on this blockchain on government also. Like if I'm not wrong, Japan or some other countries are involving or they have introducing blockchain based electronic voting system already in their country, either Japan or either Israel. I'm not particularly like clear about it. But the thing here is why citizen will make a trust on the government and the technology. So that is why the same thing here. One is nothing but asset management. Whenever the trade is being done between two parties, then again one issue came into here picture, that security part and the privacy. Whenever we are coming with respect to the insurance claim processing can be frustrating and the thankless processor. So the procedure. So insurance process is nothing but a kind of fraud claims are being done in terms of healthcare, vehicle insurance, and so on. So what we can do, we can make a perfect system for this. Then we can encrypt their whatever the information they are. Or suppose I am talking about healthcare. So nowadays we have our what we call that now government of India had to explain this. What we call this Arogya scheme something. It is nothing but one card, one nation something. It is nothing but one person entire history, whatever the patient history is, what happened to that particular person in 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018 is recorded in form of digitized way. So whenever a patient is visiting to a doctor will type the number, patient number, so he can easily get to know that, okay, what happened to him or her in the last year, last year. In terms of that whoever the claim procedure, whoever is giving the claim, that company may access that particular data from that particular doctor easily, and then can process about a risk-free claim, or we can reduce the fraud here. Payment cross borders, like you already know that we are using SWIFT nowadays. NIFT is already in India, IMPS in India, but whenever we go for outside India, we have RTGS or SWIFT, which is nothing but a kind of combinations of 200 plus countries. So whenever the Russia war was started, most of the countries have put it on ban. Means they have kept it outside Russia from the SWIFT system. So you already know that. So that is why they cannot use this system, a blockchain based, is some other system. Like here we have Abra, Align Commerce, and the Bitiska that offers end-to-end blockchain systems and other systems. Or like we have a PayPal here. PayPal also can be transferred from one place to another. But PayPal is using some other 256 kind of bit system here. But in the immediately, we can start here blockchain based. So we can send money in the rupee here, and there it can be received either in ruble or dollar or the pound and so on. And it can be accessed immediately. Otherwise, it takes 20 hours, 24 hours and something else. But it should be like we are sending the money from the Paytm and the PhonePe, and we get received within 1 minute. So we can reduce it. Then blockchain in some other, like in smart appliance, is nothing but called whenever we used in some other field, like smart home, smart fridge, smart waste management. Wherever the smart is nothing but, whenever I am saying smart, IoT comes into picture. IoT is nothing but a kind of sensing device. Sensing device is nothing but which is connected through internet, making some communication between others and making some process to do some particular task. If I am talking about the AC is smart, is nothing but it has been fixed to make the temperature normal or equal in all the corners. So that also can be control a smart application. It can be a device can be connected to the internet, and which can be encrypted. These applications, these communication can be encrypted and stored in form of blocks, and then in a chain and in a form of blockchain. Like I will explain you one example here. Like someone has asked me that how you will use supply chain or blockchain in supply chain. So suppose like supply chain sensor, we can use IoT, and we can take, okay, we have built the IoT device in one truck and we are sending it, so we can track, like before 5 years we have GPS system, GPRS or something like this. We are taking it, we are mitigating, okay, where it has been reached now, but that has been changed completely. Nowadays we take CCTV, it is wireless, and we can control, we can check where the driver is, where our vehicle is, where what they are doing, where it has been reached or something else. So the industry is nothing but, by like that I have written here 2022 because 2023 has been completed, is just running. So the market, India market is more than, or the GDP is more than 3 trillion, and in this case the technology is nothing but going to be build more than 2 trillion in 2025, because the using of IoT device in most of the sectors are increasing and increasing. If you will see these things, the big data term has been evolved in last 5 years only. The data, whatever we have produced in last 5 or to 10 years, equal to whatever we have produced in the last 90 years. So that is why the importance of IoT in most of the applications. So again, we can use blockchain in some other kind of other companies like NGOs, foundations, government agencies, academia, and so on. Other responsibilities, we can make some smart, we can introduce the concept of smart contract. Is nothing but blockchain 2.0, a concept of blockchain. It is nothing but two party make some, or I can say 2% in a party or two people in a party make some mutual understanding, and that is nothing but a program kind of things, and has been updated or is being updated from one place to another. Suppose if I'm saying one ship has been moved from Israel to India. So whenever it moves from Israel to the next country, the smart contract will change accordingly. Okay, the location and the data or the information has been changed from this to this. Again, it will from other country, it will change to the next country. So whenever the new country come into pictures, accordingly smart contracts also get updated. And whenever it comes to India, the final updation has been done. No tampering, and all the information has been stored in form of blocks. The users, I can say the producer and the consumer both can view at the same time what update is being done, because everything is in live mode. Then identity we can use, like nowadays we are using our phone number to make our identity, okay, in terms of Facebook, Twitter, or somewhere to validate ourselves. But again, phone is also an identity now, because phone is also using RR. So indirectly, that is why they have told, okay, that bogus number should not be there. Why? Because they want to remove the bots or the fraud people. Fraud in the sense I call the fishy or the fake people. So here we can introduce the blockchain-based identity, which is nothing but again stored in the system, and that can be stored for about their family, their children, and so on. So whenever someone is looking about myself, so they can know about my parents, their parents, and their parents. So every roots will get. Or in terms of passport, if I am moving from one country to another and to another, so it is nothing but my entire history is being stored into the blocks. And whenever I am putting any information, like in government or somewhere, have you visited in these countries or somewhere? So whenever I say no, so government can make a clear verification that that particular person is lying or not. So we can stop so much fraud here. So digital fraud also we can make here, like in GitHub. You can see here the first digital passport launched in GitHub in 2014. So we can take our picture and put a stamp, and we can make some public and private key combinations, and accordingly using digital signature we can produce a digital passport. But again, to more secure, we can make it the use of blockchain. Whenever I am saying about the birth, wedding, death, because the most of the problem is happening whenever the birth and the death certificate, whoever has been taken the birth, and in terms of death, if they are getting any government scheme or government benefits, nowadays government is sharing these things every 3 months. They need to put their and the proof of alive. I can say that okay, they are alive to get those benefits. Every 3 months, the older citizens they need to give to the bank or to some other person. So in this case, we can use here blockchain, or we can introduce, like we can store their information again in form of blocks, and that suppose bank also can kept that information, okay, verified next time if it is coming, or we can increase the time of 3 to 6 months, and through the blockchain or like as a particular identity, we can explore the use of blockchain. Personal identifications, whenever we are using the driver license, Aadhaar, and so on, like social, like we use SSIDs, social security card in US, like here is Aadhaar. So that also we can protect it in a more clear way. If I'm not wrong, whenever I have taken my Aadhaar in 2011, whenever, so at that time there was no QR code on Aadhaar. But whenever nowadays, after 2019, whenever we are downloading any Aadhaar, the QR code is also embedded there. So it is nothing but kind of fraud has been stopped. Because whenever there is, and nowadays we are getting QR code mostly on the each item, even a 5 rupees chocolate also we are getting a QR code. Before that we have some ISBN type of things, but nowadays we have QR code, even including last few things I have seen, metro tickets, QR code based. Have you seen that QR based metro tickets? So if you will see that nowadays Delhi Metro has transferred all the things, the tokens from the QR code based. So that is nothing but we can make it more secure again if we can generate our own blockchain based QR codes, and that can be again can be the best one, open source, secured by the blockchain, and can be protected in a better way. And personal health, as already I have discussed, a healthcare have the record of the previous one and the previous one and the previous one and so on. So a doctor can visit and can see that what is his or her the previous records, and accordingly it can tell, okay, and it can check. But again here, most important thing, someone should ask, sir, why we can use blockchain whenever there is a chance of leaking privacy and in case of sensitive kind of area. So here is nothing but whenever I am talking about the blockchain, we can make it as a public, and whenever it is public, there is no chance of leaking of the privacy also, because blockchain nowadays also being used to build the trust and preserving privacy via embedding the security inside the system. So there are some other applications, like we can improve music industry nowadays. People are using, they have some contract and they need to sign it, or they need to secure their tune or their rhythm and all these things in a secure way that no one should copy or steal it. So that again can be stored. And again, if I'm talking about the most important things, whichever I am focusing here, as I have already told you, from the assist management to the proof of identity, then healthcare, agriculture, supply chain management, and so on. Whenever I'm talking about, there is a most important thing is why someone should trust on the system or on the technology. So whenever I am showing about the centralized system, so why entire system or entire citizens or all the citizens should believe on one person? I can say that, okay, one person, what is the surety I can say here that that person will not reveal my data to the third party. Like, for example, I have my account in a bank. What is the surety that that the bank manager will not share my entire history, my payment history or my finance history with the third party they are using. That is why you are getting a call for the credit cards and so on. They are sharing your number with others. So why people should trust? That is why you are seeing most of the time whenever you are filling one applications or something, the most of the digits are become a star, and the last two digits in Google also it is showing the mail ID. Whenever it is asking to verify your mail address. So it is not showing you entire number. It is not showing you entire email address, showing few parts only. So like this, we can hide this information through the blockchain, and then we can win the trust of the people. And then accordingly, we can embed it this blockchain-based system throughout the domains or throughout the sector, from the media and entertainment to the agriculture, to the healthcare, to the transportations. Like I have taken this example here. One industry is there, which is nothing but cold storage. See, they are building some ice factory. They are sending some ice or ice cream to the restaurant A. What will happen if in the middle that ice cream get melted? Either the restaurant A person will say that no, you have sent me that particular ice cream as a melted one only, but that ice cream factory person is saying no, I have sent you the correct things, but in the middle way that has been taken more time and something happened, the ice cream has been melted. Like I can summarize I can share my experience via Flipkart. I have asked for some butter. So whenever it came to me in the night time, it was like as a water. So either I should blame to that, particularly to the company or to the truck person. So they told me to not to take it. So here the thing is, ice cream supply chain to the restaurant A from factory C via supplier B. It may say that your ice cream has been melted. So how to solve this problem? Because blockchain cannot be embedded on the physical things. It can be encrypted on the data, which is nothing but a kind of digital things. So what we can use here? We can use IoT here. So IoT sensor, we can embed it inside the system, and they take the real-time data, real-time information, and will report to both the parties, restaurant A and the storage factory. And they will get that particular information that, okay, this truck has been reached here. The temperature of this thing is this much. Then accordingly, both the party will win the trust. So that information can be stored. So that is why, again, IoT 10, if I am not using blockchain here, what are the issues can be here? IoT sensor data can be intercepted by the third party again, if I am not using blockchain, or maybe stored and can be maybe send the old readings. Is nothing but kind of a reply attack. Is a reply attack, and so on. So that is why here, if we use the blockchain, so here we integrity like CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and the availability, we can make these three things and we can win the trust among the party. So what we can do, we can use hashing, we can make digital signature. Whenever I'm talking about digital signature, I'm talking about blockchain, because I'm using digital signature to hash or to encrypt my data and save it. And accordingly, I can pinpoint all the information in terms of real time. So here I have come through the point of, or the concept of a smart contract, which is nothing but whenever a restaurant or I can say storage and the restaurant, they may make one agreement. Okay, this is the, we want such kind of things from your things, and this much amount, this much quantity, or this temperature. Then that particular truck will be moved from one location to another. It is based on the IoT devices. Real-time data is giving both the parties. This is nothing but whenever it is moved from one location, the identified locations, the smart contract get updated. So sorry, I have written here small. This is nothing but small here. It is a smart contract. That small I have written because in terms of small, but this word is wrong here. So smart contract programs are nothing but they are performing like as a live in the blockchain. So they are like as a autonomous computer program which are executed automatically and from one location to another, and both the party, because each smart contract is updating with the new information, and that smart contract is nothing but a way of extension version of blockchain in terms of storing your information. So I can say here smart contract help us in exchanging money, property, shares, or anything of values. I will share one more example here. If I'm going to buy one property, so what happens? We are looking about the property papers of the previous person, whoever hold it. Then from this, we are checking the previous one, then previous one, and so on. If we are checking it, okay, this property belongs in 1950 to whom? So it is quite a difficult things to identify in the system. Who is the original person or the holder in the 1950? But whenever we use smart contract, this is quite impressive things here, that all the contracts can be, all the legal contracts or your registry, your nominations can be put in terms of a smart contract and can be secure in terms of a chain, and always they can be accessed anytime, anywhere by that particular user. But again, whatever the system or the platform you are using to access it, that depend on your ID and password, which you should not forget. Okay, otherwise your entire things will be blocked. Otherwise, because there is one example, if you will search over Google, over web, there is one person who hold more than 200 plus crore of the bitcoins, but forgot the password. But there is no way to get the password either by the guessing, because otherwise the system will get blocked, or the particular amount will get just wasted. It will be in the system, but whenever the clear match, only will get access. So here we can use the smart contracts help us, or we can store it and replicate in terms of blockchain. Can result in updates to the account of the ledgers, or is nothing but kind of a pre-written logics or statements or points. So whenever we are talking about the contract, we are taking a 1 to 3 days in generally. Manually, we are going to that particular lawyer. We are going to that particular expensive physical residence and which we require. And suppose like we are using here physical presence, wet signature. There is one thing that someone has typed something, and there is one drop comes into that, and that becomes 0, because that amount, if I am writing here 1,0,0,0,1 lakh, and the drop of that water comes on 1, it becomes wet and wasted. So amount property become 0. So kind of the things, lawyer is necessary in terms of this, but in terms of smart contract, in terms of minutes you can create it, automatically is getting updated. There is a fractions of minute cost are there. Virtual presence like digital signature, you are making it. Nowadays, most of the time we use digital signatures. Lawyers like digital signature. I can tell you one more example. Most of the people are filing ITR, so they are asking your digital signature only. Okay, lawyer may not be necessary for this. So whenever we are using smart contract, transparent all the time because they are in the public, accurate all the time because they are public and always available and get automatically updated. Secure most of the time because they are using highest level of the data encryption. Speed can be produced in terms of minutes because it's kind of a software or a is kind of a code type of is a kind of a programs like I have shared here, a kind of the autonomous computer programs. Okay, executable automatically. Accordingly, efficient. It can be created again in a fractions. Clear communication. In terms of small contracts, I can say here now that word. Very few lines, clear lines. Not like that we are making a contract rent agreement, so many things are written, and then in the last we are asking, okay, are you agreeing? Like I can say that for the WhatsApp policy or some other policy, accept to the policy. Who is going to read that? Because they have so many things to read it. Okay, so that is why we just okay, proceed. So we are giving our all the access, our picture and all these things, our phone to those persons. So here again, no intermediary cost is allowed. So a clear communication between two party. Storage and backup can be accessed anytime, anywhere, because it is in a blockchain. Can trust using blockchain in public, can be accessed anytime, running by you with the terms of ID and password. Till that, if your ID and password is not leaked by you. Like I will share one more thoughts here. Suppose someone is saying, sir, I have not withdrawn this amount, but bank will say that, sir, your amount has been deducted by you and with your number, which is connected through Aadhaar, which is nothing but is only done by you, not by some other one. That is why for more than 1 lakh or 2 lakh, bank always call to that particular customer and ask for a confirmation. Sir, have you done this transaction? Can we proceed it? If you have faces, then you will remember the dots, how they are getting connected, why they are asking. So to build the trust in the bank. So again, I will say here, like I have already shared, that I will discuss the third point, decentralized applications. So decentralized applications come into picture. So we can make decentralized economy. Nowadays, we have one economy, one nation, like we are running everything. But like we have here GST. So a person has bought one thing from one shop and again it is going to the next shop. Then that person is also taking the GST and filling the information. Why we cannot use the blockchain information here and the same identity, same information can be fetched like this? Okay, this information, whenever this particular information or based on this QR code fetches from the data, already the particular GST information get minus. So accordingly, that particular things, whenever it is being consolidated in the end of the month, will be hassle free to that particular shopkeeper or to that particular person who is running the business. Okay, so in this case we can make a decentralized economy. I am talking about a single point with respect to shopkeeper. Which we can expand to the every level, and which it is nothing but a chain will be connected through the shopkeeper to the consumer. Then we can use here decentralized web. Like we already know that internet is connected. Internet is nothing but a kind of network which is occupied most of the developed countries only. They are running it. It is not a decentralized kind of things. Okay. So whenever companies pay for this, so why we cannot make a decentralized kind of network and like as a decentralized and distributive? It's nothing but anyone can access anything anywhere. So no need of putting the this server to this country and that server to some other country. So that problem we may remove. And again, we can introduce more cryptocurrencies, like India has launched last month e-rupee, which we are not using. Only few banks are still using. If you are using the web and you are using some knowledge from the GK general knowledge, so these are nothing but RBI is launching some e-rupee is nothing but kind of a cryptocurrency kind of things, which is nothing but that we may expand it and publicly we can launch it, so we can save millions or billions of amount of rupees in terms of printing, handling of the money, and so on. Like nowadays, we already know that 2,000 rupees notes has been stopped by the RBI. So these kind of things, if we are introducing, because you already know that most of the digital transaction has been crossed by more than 13 lakh crore per month. We are doing the transactions of 13 lakh crore per month via digital. So that can be more trusted, more transactions can be done and can be used by a keypad phone also. That we should make a system that can be a decentralized economy or the new cryptocurrency we may launch in terms of the law firm, that cases, whatever the cases has been or the judgments or the laws has been made or yet to be made can be encrypted, can be publicly available to the citizens of the country. And whenever I am saying blockchains in terms of IoT, so whenever I am going beyond IoT, so it's nothing but IoT based cloud applications. When this information collected by the IoT is being stored through the cloud computing, which is nothing but nowadays we call it as edge computing. The data can be accessed through the nearest edge, can be accessed, that can be secure in terms of blockchain. And then I have taken a word kind of block or digital twin here. The digital twin is nothing but a virtual replica of the physical object. Okay, that is nothing but a virtual replica of a physical object. Like in healthcare, a doctor can see the see a patient like an X-ray, okay, about everything about the patient, about his bone, about his lung, his liver, heart, okay, and wherever it is, the problem can be fixed to the particular so that information also can be stored and we may use as a further use. So if I am going like I have explained to that decentralized web, decentralized applications, peer-to-peer economy. Now this is the conclusion from if I am going with respect to the blockchain in future with respect to revolutionizing business process across this industries. Whenever I am taking here word of the industry, there are industry 4.0, like I have promised you that I will explain this point further. 4.0 is nothing but 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 is nothing but in the starting we are hunting the animals, then we are doing the manuals, then we have made some automations with respect to some industry. Nowadays we have more advanced with respect to IoT and human intervention. Now there is one more word comes into picture, cobot. It's nothing but robots plus human being. That is nothing but industry 5.0, wherever everything will be involved by the machines only, no human intervention will be there. So in 4.0, which is in trend nowadays, and we are talking much about 4.0, either in smart manufacturing, either in textile industry, either in healthcare industry, either in or agriculture or in military, wherever we are using the industry 4.0. The human intervention is very few, and most of the work is being done by the machines. For example, if I want to produce more equipment for the healthcare, like vaccine, we have produced the vaccine in 6 to 8 months. Think about a situation if we do not have the machines, how much time we took and how many lives we are losing during COVID pandemic. So that is the power of technology and machines that they have built. All the things that vaccine and most of the countries have produced, and then they have fixed it to their citizens also and saved the lives of the millions and billions. So that is why that is a better example for industry 4.0. But apart from this, that information also again, whatever the machine make communications, like I will suggest you to share these things. You please watch this word, whichever I'm saying here. In Japan, 29 people or 9 people has been shot by the robot in 2019. And that is nothing but, you will be shocked that out of those 4 robots, out of 4, 1 was shot by the person, but these 3 were making the connection through the satellite and updating more self or updating themselves better than before. You please watch that video, that what they have written. So kind of things we can make them more secure, because again here that kind of communication we can secure in terms of blockchain, because again if the data is over blockchain, how much powerful AI or a computer can be. As we already know that in the terms of theory of computation, a robot cannot be more powerful than a human being. And we have seen these things in many sci-fi movies, in films also. in a very much again sci-fi things also. But again, there is a never-ending question: who is more powerful, or AI will take the jobs of the human being in the near future or not? That is a never-ending process. But the thing is, here my point is to use blockchain here to make more secure this communication, that these people or these machines should not talk themselves or should not be more powerful than before. So these are the references I have taken, and apart from the web I have taken. With respect to this, if someone is requiring this PPT, I will share with the Khushbu ma'am. And we have written one paper. With the many papers I have written on IIT with respect to IIT publishers, Springer, CRC, and with the reputed publisher on blockchain. I have a book on recent trends in blockchain security and privacy. So I'm not promoting here. I'm just telling that if someone has any doubts, so they may refer. I will share my own paper, or even you can refer all my papers at www.ak-tyagi.com. My website is there. But from this, if you have any doubt, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really wonderful and inspiring presentation which you have shared with all of us. So here we are having some questions in chat box. Can we take one by one, sir?
Sure, madam.
So here is the first question by Dr. Anil Kumar Mishra, Associate Professor in Computer Science Department. He just want to clear the doubt. Is the blockchain different from banking ledger?
No, if banking ledger in the terms of, whenever I'm saying distributed ledger, indirectly I'm saying blockchain only.
Right. So we can say they are the synonym words we can use sometimes for
So
the
if they are
purpose.
using distributed ledger technology, like I can say blockchain is a distributed ledger technology also.
Right. I hope Anil sir has got the answer. So here is another question from Sanjeev Kumar ji. He is asking, how secure is blockchain technology? What are your views, sir?
As I have discussed in my presentation, as I have told, I am in blockchain from 2018. Like I am saying, that first paper I have written on 2019. Why I attracted through this blockchain? Because of its security. Because I have worked in PhD in privacy. And privacy can be secured through the security only and building trust. Because there is no way, or as one madam is doing on the recommendation. So like sir has asked, how much secure? There is not a single case I have found it out over a public blockchain that a public blockchain has been tampered by this attacker. Even in February or May, AIMS server was hacked by the hackers and it was stopped for more than a week. Even AIMS is a good hospital in the country, and even US airlines things or airline computers also has been hacked the last month. But again, I am using here, if they use blockchain to make the communication and make this communication as a blockchain, I will tell in some other way, like Linux is open access. Why Linux is more secure than others? Because it is publicly freely available. Now someone will say, sir, why it is more secure again? Because they have made this changes in the kernel in such a way that kernel cannot be tampered.
Absolutely right, sir. So till now we can say the blockchain technology is secure, more secure. That's why
Public
we are
blockchain.
using
I
it.
am taking a term called public blockchain is more secure than
Public
private.
blockchain. Right, sir, right. So here is one more question from Dr. Shweta. She is asking, how does blockchain converge with Internet of Everything?
That ma'am has asked really good things. Internet of Everything is nothing but whenever you connect everything towards internet, your smart home is connected to smart TV, Your smart TV is connected to your smart kitchen. Everything or your smart kitchen is connected through your smart fridge. Your smart fridge is connected to the retail. Everything, whatever it is over, it may send a notification. So here, all the communications, so that you need to make as a prioritize which you want to make, like internet of everything is nothing but in terms of smart home, smart or agriculture, smart industry, or smart manufacturing, and so on. In which way? So if I'm talking about smart home, so you need to prioritize your things which you want to make as a more secure, like as a gate, smart home gate. It should not be open before, apart from me only. So that home door, then fridge, then accordingly so on, and those communications can be protected in terms of blockchain.
Rightly said, sir. So I think all these data which we are gathering from the internet devices, gadgets, we can use it in the blockchain technology and make it more secure.
Yes.
So I hope Dr. Shweta has got the answer and in the clear doubt. And here is one more question, sir, from Dr. Sarita, and she's asking, can we apply double spin condition in any blockchain system?
Madam, again, madam, I have not told this attack because I have written here at the double spending, but I have not explained this attack. Double spending attack is nothing but whenever someone shares some information and later it may claim that I have not, or I have, or suppose it's like that, I have withdrawn the money, amount has not been minus from my account, and it is still showing the same account, say a same amount, and the similar time I may send the same money to as some other person. It's kind of a double spending. The same amount I have sent to one party and one more party. I will show you here. I have shared somewhere. I have written somewhere double spending. Here, even I have highlighted also. So double spending is nothing but whenever, suppose this happened with me one day, and maybe it may happen to you also. Whenever I have withdrawn some amount, one amount from the ATM, so I got the message for that withdrawal after one day. Till one day, either due to the bank employee that those people were not aware about these things, so they have updated my account after one day. Till that, it was showing the money in my account. Even I have withdrawn. So again, if I want, I can do the internet banking, or again I can withdraw it. So this is a case of double spending. So the same thing here. If I am sending the some part of Bitcoin to some other party and some other party, so here we can avoid double spending clearly using blockchain, because it is working based on the automatically, like I have written here, automatically update, available to every peer node, no more hiding. So nothing is hidden, and it is a dynamic way. Everything will be get updated. Whenever I am sending 10 rupees to someone else, immediately from my account, 10 rupees will get deducted and to his account will get added.
We can say
So-
that yes, we can apply and we can use the double spend condition.
Yes,
also,
we can
right?
we can avoid double spending attack using blockchain in banking industry, or double spending attack can be removed by blockchain.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope Sarita has got the answer. So here is one more question, sir. I hope it is not too late to asking this question here. This question is from Poonam, ma'am. She's asking, can we do blockchain programming in Java or C++, or will have to learn Solidity language?
Again, good question here, madam. I will tell you that whatever the program I have done till now, like I am using blockchain intelligent transportation system, I have implemented blocks in Java only, or I am using some simulator, like there is called block sim. If you will search over web, there is called block sim, which we can use for blockchain simulators. Embedded blocks are there. We can create our own blocks accordingly. How many we are required, accordingly we can store our information and can extend to a level. There is a capacity of it, but till today, whatever experiment I have done, I have done in Java, and second priority in C.
So we can use some simulators also for that
Yes.
purpose, and any language which are
Yes.
suitable for the problem
Yes.
as we have taken, right, sir?
Yes, it depends on how many blocks you are requiring in your projects.
Thank you. I hope it answers well to the Poonam's ma'am question. So
Again, I will
really,
add one more line here. Whenever I am saying it depends on the number of blocks. Again, number of the blocks is nothing but number of the line of code. So if it is get increased, so now you should find a way there to reduce the line of code. So you should not get confused during implementation.
right, sir. Thank you. Thank you, share your views with all of us. So I formally thank you, Dr. Amit Kumar Tyagi, sir, for an enlightening and thoughtful presentation on the right way to apply blockchain in banking and supply chain, etc. And we appreciate having this mysterious area clarified, and your advice to work in healthcare area with blockchain technology is especially useful, I think, in the recent trends. We really appreciate your precious time and remarkable thought which you have shared with all of us. Please accept our sincere thanks from the organizing team
Thank
of
you,
5
ma'am.
Days FDP
Thank
program
you.
at AUH in the virtual mode. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
sir.
much, ma'am. Thank you, Sweta ma'am. Thank you, Kushbu ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. We'll see you more in the collaboration
Thank
work
you.
further.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir. It was our
Okay.
pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Can I leave now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
you can. leave.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar, ma'am.
Here is an announcement for the participants that there is a slight change in tomorrow's schedule, and we will be conducting the valedictory session in the first half itself after having first 2 sessions in the morning. And there will be no session in the afternoon. Please note that we'll be meeting tomorrow at 10:30 sharp for the 2 sessions in the morning. And after that, we will have the valedictory session. And one more thing, that we have already shared the feedback link here in the chat box. So you are requested to fill the feedback here so that we can get the details. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the participants who have joined and gained the knowledge from the speakers. Thank you, everyone.